You're probably planning a vacation right now, and you might have to budget extra for roaming fees, except you don't. Saily, S-A-I-L-Y, Saily. It's backed by Nord Security. You can buy roaming plans in 160 different countries, 8 regions around the world, anywhere you want to go. I mean, we're watching CJ plan his Florida and Edmonton trips, right? You know, because he's going back and forth, back and forth.
He's doing Edmonton, and then he's doing Edmonton, followed by Florida, and then Florida, and then Edmonton,
and then Florida,
and then I was waiting for you to cut me off.
So the thing is, well, here's the thing: he doesn't have to worry about roaming plans anymore. If he uses Saily and he uses the SDP discount, he's going to get a pretty good little deal. And also, he doesn't have to wander around looking for a public Wi-Fi spot with an eSIM. You are always connected. And by the way, they refund you if it doesn't work with your iOS or Android, but it should work with it.
That's the best part. Is like you can just try it out, and if it doesn't work, they're like, "Oh, here, thank you for trying. Here's your money back."
Yeah. Now the promo code's Dangle because we like to be creative. Get an exclusive 50% off Saily data plans. Use the code DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saily app or go to Saily, SAILY.com/dangle. Let's start the show.
SDPN, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
So, Pride Month, everybody. It be Pride Month.
Woo!
And I tried this on Jax earlier this morning, and I wanted to try it on you guys. This month, we don't say, let me get this straight. We say, just so we're queer.
Oh.
Did you come up with that?
No, that's from TikTok.
Oh.
Maddie, what do you think? You like that? They're like,
Hi, gay.
Is it okay?
Happy Pride Month. Get 25% off. Sashay away with these amazing deals.
That's good.
I like that. I like that. Very, very good. Yeah. Very, very good.
I haven't heard that one yet. Is that the Applebee's one, or is that...
Hi, gay.
Stop putting the camera on me when you
Sashay
say
away.
Now, just like every year, SDPN will be participating in the Get Real virtual 5K fundraiser to support Rainbow Railroad. Your donations and efforts to fundraise will help us reach more schools and students to share this education and tools so that kids in the 2S LGBTQ plus community will feel less alone and safer in their school. Your donations will equally help the Rainbow Railroad evacuate more queer individuals fleeing dangerous environments around the globe to find safety. Friday, June 29th, we're going to encourage you to go out and run, ride, or walk on anything that has wheels, bikes, skateboards, scooters, rollerblades, whatever you got. My neighbor has one of those weird enclosed pedal bike things that also look like it's like an egg car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he zips around the neighborhood and actually like drives on the street. I'm like, buddy, you are taking your life in your hands. He's like, it's a motorized vehicle.
There's no way that's street legal.
I can't imagine it is, and yet
Imagine
there he
pulling him
is.
over.
Does it have a license plate?
Is there a problem, officer?
You know what? I'll check.
Or does it count as a bicycle?
I feel like it counts as a bicycle because it is a pedal. It's a pedal bike, and it's got an electric motor in it that you charge up by cycling it.
All right.
So if you have one of those, you can use it.
I want an electric
Still.
penny farthing.
Sure, the big bicycles with the gigantic and then the tiny little wheel.
Yes, little one.
Nobody looked at a penny farthing and said, maybe a little less on the front, a little more on the back.
No,
they were like, no, you need to be 12 feet in the air and dive trying to get off it. That's what you need.
All right.
How did you get
Gotta love
on
the Victoria.
a penny farthing?
I have no idea.
Anyway,
you can connect with other participants around the world by sharing a photo of yourself. Use the hashtag GetReal5K, hashtag Rainbow Railroad 5K, and we can't wait to see your posts and that sort of thing. The SDPN team, go to zeffy.com/team/SDPN.
Link in the description.
Yeah, it's all in the description.
Easier.
Yeah. Fundraising goal this year is $4,000.
Can you just show everyone what's on your screen?
So
Jesse?
we've
Look
been
at those
doing
guns.
this. We've been doing this for a couple years now.
Armed and dangerous.
And those of you who've been around for a while know that in 2023, for our virtual 5K, the three of us took on different endeavors because we hit our fundraising goal.
Yes.
And we promised to do our own little 5Ks for Get Real in the Rainbow Road. Steve decided to 5K kayak 5 kilometers.
But it's so
And
windy.
He got out onto the shore and then crashed his kayak.
He got sideways real
You
quick.
barely got pushed into Lake Ontario, and the video's on the screen for anybody listening. You can't see it.
So good.
Steve immediately falls over after entering the water, and I can confidently say you did not kayak 5 kilometers.
No,
that
you
day.
didn't.
No, so instead we ran. We ran. You know what? I think it's the thought that counts.
Adam's
What a great guy.
5K challenge was he was going to do it in the Devil's
gear.
pajamas.
Yes.
And he did.
Yep.
But the downside of that is you lost your wedding ring
That day. Yep.
So
There it sits at the
that's
beach.
the price you had to pay for your 5K. You
Still
But-
don't have a replacement.
But we got to
should-
do that amazing shot.
No,
and
Maddie,
it was
you
worth it.
gotta put this on screen. This was Adam's 5K. Here's the big moment.
Uh-huh.
He takes off his clothes.
Yeah.
And there's the pajama.
Yeah.
What a man.
Daddy.
That's an animal right there.
By the way, storming into the water where I
save
very
Steve.
obviously am not.
I'd,
Well, it's because you were underwater because I dove in to save
Oh,
you.
I
God.
can confidently say Adam also did not run 5 kilometers that day.
Can you confidently say that, Jesse? Is that a confident take? I don't know. Look at that body,
And
built for
my
speed.
challenge was to do 5 kilometers in hockey gear.
Look at all the people parasailing in the background. There was no way we were going to be able to kayak.
Well, you know what?
So this year we got to come up with something else.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
People in the comments, please let us know what you'd like us to do this year for our 5
How can we
kilometers.
incorporate Sport Check?
What? Give me some kayaking stuff, and I'll just go to a place where it's not a tornado.
Wait.
You got a lot of excuses for
Yeah.
your poor kayak.
Wow.
Also, he didn't have that plug in the back, so it was like sinking the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Do you have that now?
Yeah, I bought one.
And you got a little trolley for your kayak, didn't you?
I did.
So you can
It's
now
awesome.
wheel it around your neighborhood because you live near the water.
And Leo can just sit in it, so I just pull him like a wagon.
No, that's cool.
Buddy, I'm king of Ajax right now.
I want to see you do it. I want to see you rope it off and do 5 kilometers worth of kayaking in your pool. But basically, the rope behind you holds you in place. But you have to like
and just are you
just
gonna
muscle
pay,
through it.
Are you gonna pay for my replacement arms like at the end of it?
How many laps around an ice rink is 5 kilometers?
Well, an ice rink
Ask
is
chat.
it's
Ask chat.
200 feet, right?
Yeah. I'm not doing the math.
No, me neither. You're asking a question to the world.
I'm asking Adam to Google it.
Oh, so you're saying like what,
right.
what could I skate it?
I think we should all skate 5 kilometers.
So the AI overview says 34 laps.
well, we could do that.
Yeah.
Equivalent is 5K because a standard NHL rink is 200 feet by 85 feet. 5K race is 3.1 miles or 5,000 meters. So about 34.
I'm thinking right now that's the lead.
Yeah.
That's the lead thing we got going for the 5K.
Yep.
Is the 3 of us get on the ice. We rent out a rink for an hour.
I'm ready.
And our challenge is to skate 34 laps.
I'm down.
together holding hands.
Holding hands the whole time. My hands do get a bit sweaty.
Yeah, I don't want to touch those.
Poor Adam. We're gonna fall over so many times because of Adam. He's all right, guys. Oh, I'm getting too far ahead of you, and down we go. Oh, here we go, and down we go. Down we go again.
Yes.
Steve, can those legs make 34 laps?
Yeah,
All right.
buddy.
34 laps. I wonder how long it would actually take us. I mean, a lap is going to be about a minute.
We only got the ice rink booked for an hour.
So we better
taped
get
up.
it done then.
I'm taped up like a return package. I got the KT tape going. I'm stable. Let's go.
I like it. I'm ready. That would actually be a lot of fun. Okay, that's great. Also, we should talk about scheduling this week because the SDP obviously is out today, but it'll also be out Thursday and Friday. We figured there was no point in doing a game, doing a Wednesday show when we've got the Monday show. So we'll do an immediate post game and then a pregame, obviously on Friday because the next one is Friday. Right.
Right. Yeah. Instead of doing 2 shows before one game, why don't we just push one show and then
100%.
get it done?
It'll be a little wonky for the Cup final.
Yeah.
Usually is.
Yeah, okay, but you know what? Worth it.
Yes.
It. We'll have to move things around. We'll make it happen. Now, I meant to bring this up last episode,
And you didn't.
and
Idiot.
I didn't. And so I'm going to bring it up here. And you've probably seen it, but I still think it's worth mentioning it. Former teammates of Jaromir Jagr that have made the Stanley Cup final, and we are on year 45.
I got a bone to pick with this.
Okay, what's the bone?
So this record ended in 2022, but they've decided to shoehorn. Well, Andre Palat played with them at the Olympics.
Okay.
Does it count?
All right. So just so you know, I'll give you the.
I think it's interesting.
I'll give you the names. Okay, so teammates of Jaromir Jagr that have made the Stanley Cup final. 1980 through 1983 is Brian Trottier with the Islanders. 84-85 Messier. 86 Mullen. 87-88 Messier. 89 Yuri Hedina. 90 Messier. Obviously, 91-92, Yager was there with Mario Lemieux. 93, JJ Dandino. 94, Mark Messier. 95, Tom Korski. 1996, Scott Young. 97 and 98, Doug Brown. Benoit Hogue in 99.
Benoit Hogue.
Scott Gomez in 2000. Chris Drury, GM of the New York Rangers in 2001. Brendan Shanahan. Not the president of anyone.
Currently looking.
2002, Pandolfo in 03, Kubina in 04. 05 doesn't count because there was no cup.
Yeah.
Mark Recchi in 06, Sean Thornton 07, Andres Lilia in 08, Peter Sikora in 09, 2010, Versteeg 11, Recchi 12, Willie Mitchell.
When
Willie
you
Mitchell.
started, I didn't realize you were doing the whole list.
I'm doing the whole damn list. 13
I think
Carcelo,
you should
14
spell
Willie
all their
Mitchell,
names.
15 Versteeg, 16, 17 Matt Cullen, 18 Alex Chason, 19 is Braden Shen, 20 Braden Coburn, 21 John Merrill, 22 Andre Palat
Olympics, boo.
and then the last 3 years Barkov.
That's so unbelievable, dude.
I almost think that you got to give him Andre Palat because it didn't
Fine.
say the record is not NHL teammates. The record is teammates.
Fine.
But
That
it's
is
an
fine.
NHL thing we're comparing it to. It's like is people in the Stanley Cup,
Right. Yes,
So
but
that's
people
why
they
I
did play together.
That's why I understand why people limit to NHL teammates.
Yes.
Because we're talking about him playing in the Stanley Cup.
But consider this isn't a record that matters. It's simply fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
keep it
yeah.
alive.
Keep it alive.
I think the record doesn't mean much. It's
Yeah.
just a fun record, so you might as well keep it going.
Hey,
Keep it alive.
that guy played a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Neat.
Yeah, there's no reason to poo-poo this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I just thought that was cool, and it's an interesting thing. And Jaromir Jagr had a pretty big effect on the game, et cetera, et cetera. Still playing for the team he owns because it always sells out when he plays.
Gladno.
Yeah. The thing is, we should talk about the Stanley Cup final as like a preview. We should have, mention that, we have a Stanley Cup final coming.
And Yager's impact.
Well, not necessarily that, but this is a better Florida team, I think, than last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is a better Edmonton team, I think, than last year.
You go and look at the losses from the roster for both teams, and it's actually not nearly as much as I thought. Like Brandon Montour is probably the best player.
Mm-hmm. You got Holloway and Broberg on the Oilers side.
Then you could argue, well, is Holloway a better forward than Montour as a defenseman? Well, he wasn't to the Oilers. Holloway broke out
with St. Louis.
with St. Louis.
Yeah.
And in a way, Broberg did too. So, like most teams,
It's like Fogle, Holloway, Broberg, CC,
McLeod
and Vinny Desharnais.
and Vinny Desharnais. Panthers lost Montour, Stenlin, Ryan Lomberg,
OEL.
Steven Lorentz, OEL, their backup goalie, and Anthony Stoller. So, like, what impact did he have? They added, well, actually, you know who's a big loss for Florida? Tarasenko. He was really good for them.
He was.
But they replaced him with Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
They
Who was better
replaced
for them?
Montour with Seth Jones. Oilers, it's been a little bit more piecemeal, like, getting the most out of a guy like Podkolzin, getting the most out of a guy like Kapanen, getting the least out of guys like Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson, but now they're having an impact. I do genuinely think both teams are better.
So I guess, and we'll talk about this a little bit in the big story when we get to the actual odds of it. But I look at this Stanley Cup and I go, man, who's got the edge? And I feel like we have to default to the Jesse Blake default, which is the defending Stanley Cup champions until otherwise.
I thought about flipping it. Zach Hyman makes it just way too difficult.
Without him, yeah.
Dude, you're like replacing him with a 40-year-old. Like I think Perry can get it done on the power play. 5-on-5, the Panthers just come at you in waves, and losing Hyman is so big.
You guys finally seeing the light?
Oh, I see the light.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jess. No, you nailed it.
Well, like, because going into the playoffs, like, I could not have been more wrong about the Florida Panthers. Like,
Both?
I think
Both
we all
teams?
Well, both teams, yeah, but on the Florida side in particular first. Like, going into the playoffs, I had no idea that a team had the will in them to just take off an entire half of a regular season and not care about the back half of the schedule. And Paul Maurice coming into the playoffs sat in his press conference and complained about the scheduling. He sat there and was like, we had so many back-to-backs, we had so many games of condensed schedule, and like it was tough for us to play our guys. And knowing that's how they look at the schedule and they're like, screw this, like we don't want to play these games. I shouldn't have taken those results and applied them to the playoffs, because once they got there, they started playing like the team that was in the playoffs last.
What a bunch of whiny babies. Who gives a damn? Oh, no one's going to cater the schedule. Oh, it wasn't the Leafs who said it?
No.
Oh, okay, continue.
So you get there and they show up against Tampa. And like that series, it's you know after that what you saw in the back half of the regular season wasn't the same team. They had a magical ability to turn it on. And the team that played Tampa, no one should beat them when they're playing like that.
Yes.
There's 31 other teams in this league, and there's a tier where the Florida Panthers sit. Then there's a mini tier where the Edmonton Oilers sit. And then there's a tier of 30 other teams. And like we got the two best teams here, but Florida's still a cut above just based on how they play relentless hockey in the playoffs, and their forecheck, where it's like nobody forechecks like them and is able to come away with the puck consistently like the Florida Panthers. And then they can shut you down on defense as well. And that forecheck leads to goals. And time again, they just win these games, and it seems so simple for them. So I'm not betting against them.
Unfortunately for the Oilers, I think it's going to require a little bit of magic, like a little bit of.
But they have that.
But they do.
The scary thing about the Oilers is they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl who can create magic because they're such exceptional hockey players and a cut above every other hockey player in the league.
It's hockey that no panel can break down, in my opinion.
Well,
like,
I mean,
just have McDavid go out there and do some crazy shit. Just have Draisaitl go out there and be a maniac. Like, oh, okay.
Like it's so funny when Connor McDavid does something special now, you see social media managers around the hockey world go, what am I going to say about him that's different this time? And they've just defaulted to Connor period McDavid period. Like what else do you say? It's just sort of what's been said. Like you've said all you can, and yet he continues.
There's a trend on social media right now on TikTok. It's about LeBron James, and it's Open the Vault. And it's showing highlights because, I mean, the dude's been playing since 2003.
Yeah.
And
just the graphical representations of him in video games in the last 20 years.
Hilarious.
It's amazing.
But it's also, here's highlights from his first stint with the Cavs. And there's this whole group of young people on TikTok that are like, I've never seen this clip in my entire life. And it's better than any highlight in most people's entire careers. And this was just stashed away in a vault somewhere.
I'm old enough to remember them bringing in Shaq so LeBron could win.
I'm old enough to remember him being a rookie and his teammates talking shit about him. Like, oh, whatever. He's got to fit into what we do. Anyway, we need to, in real time, save the Connor McDavid clips for the vault. Because I think like a player you could do this for, well, two players you could probably do this for, is Crosby and Ovechkin. There's so much stuff from Crosby won a cup early in his career, and the dueling hat tricks was decently early in their careers. No. I want to see highlights from Sidney Crosby when the Penguins sucked and when the Capitals sucked. I want to see highlights from the first time Ovi wore black. Yeah. I want to see
a Lemieux from a goal from Lemieux from Crosby.
I want to see Crosby going toe to toe with Darian Hatcher.
Oh yeah,
so much stuff that's been lost to time. But anyway, this isn't about Crosby and Ovechkin. This McDavid stuff. I mean, we could easily every week just be like, here's the Connor McDavid highlight package. I don't understand why we don't do it. Sportsnet should literally. I suggested this. Just do This Week in Connor McDavid.
Yeah, they should.
It'll do 100,000 every show.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to show geographical bias, though.
No. Well, no, it's not a Toronto team, so I think it's okay.
Oh, okay, in that case.
The dumbest people in the world and on the internet were Connor McDavid's rookie season, like, oh my God, all this McDavid stuff, relax, shut up. Everything we posted with McDavid did numbers and was awesome. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Are you telling those same people who are screaming that about Connor Bedard?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I said he might be better than McDavid, and I still might be Wrong.
Because there was that same conversation when Bedard had his rookie season, and then every night on whatever national broadcast he was on is the Connor Bedard show, right?
It still wasn't quite as much. That might have been more of an American thing, just because he's with the Blackhawks. But man, up here on Sportsnet, it was McDavid every friggin'
And
night.
as well as it should have been.
Should have been.
And we only got half a season from him his rookie year.
Yes.
So what's going to be interesting for McDavid and Draisaitl and for Chris Knobloch is he has number 1 and 2 in Selke voting as of today, going up against him on that first line. And that's Barkov, who had 1,300 points, 1,363 points, and Reinhart, who had 873. Barkov had 96 first place votes for the Selke. Reinhart had another 29.
I thought you meant career points.
No.
And I was like, what?
No, I'm just talking about this is their point system for the thing.
It took me a second too.
Hilariously, we can go through a little bit later if you want to who else got votes.
You should do it now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah. Why did they release the Selke winner randomly on a Monday?
I don't know.
Because they don't do the NHL awards anymore.
They're not
It's
doing
done.
that.
Yeah, because it was such a waste of money because it was so poorly received. Every year they would get, and I felt bad for the hosts. They would like get these poor hosts to try to be funny. And the NHL's just not a league of people that want to get engaged in that way. They're not big, showy. Like if you did an NFL awards, that shit would be hilarious.
Well, Barkov would have never won the Selke if he got pressure, right?
Right. Yeah. Like if fans cared in Florida, then if he was in the real
He would
NHL,
just bobble the
or he's in the real NHL.
Whoa. That's why the Panthers almost blew it last year.
That's
they won
true.
games 1 through 3 because there's no pressure. But then
the fans got involved, and then yeah. So here we go. So Barkov, Reinhart, 1 and 2, which is expected. Not only are they both great, and Barkov, this is not his first time. They play together, which makes it even worse. Anthony Cirelli of Tampa Bay is number 3.
he's going to be in this conversation forever.
The next 3. Heischer, Eichel, Draisaitl in that order. That's 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, and 9 is Marner, Kopitar, Hagel. 10, 11, 12.
Hagel should have got more votes. All those points with no power play points is psychotic.
Yeah. But again, like, I mean, look at the guys ahead of him. Are you upset that
I know
Kopitar, Marner, Draisaitl, Eichel, Heischer are ahead of him?
It's just easier to win the Selke or get Selke votes as a center, and most of those guys are center.
Yeah.
You're all like the way you're playing as a center. There's just so much more responsibility. Like it's a little unfair to give it to a winger.
It's crazy that Yuri
Reinhart
Lehtinen kept winning it.
Reinhart is the center. They're choosing to play wing.
Yes.
They're just like, go play with Barkov.
Yeah. You got Seth. So I said, so 10, 11, 12 is Lowry, Stahl, Jarvis. And I'll stop at 15 here. Suzuki, Matthews, and Alex Tuck.
No, I want to know who clearly got one vote.
We got to do the fun name.
The one voters? Okay, so the one voters. Nathan McKinnon, Logan O'Connor, and Sidney Crosby.
O'Connor!
They all got Nathan McKinnon and Logan O'Connor tied. They both got a third place vote.
I'm just waiting for you to get to the name.
Sidney Crosby got a fourth place vote.
Steve. Give it to him.
Which one is it?
Ilya Mikheyev.
No way!
Wait, where is that? I don't even see that one.
Absolutely not.
Ilya Mikheyev got 1 5th place vote.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Release the names.
Oh.
Release the name. I'm sorry, Logan O'Connor's a weirder one. I think that's weirder than McKinnon.
Can I give you another one?
McKinnon had a pretty good season.
Why? Mine cuts off at 30.
I have the full list.
Oh, okay.
There's
all right.
37. There's guys tied at 37. Anyway,
37 people got a Selke vote. That shows you how.
there's more than 37.
I got it now.
There's
I got
like
it now.
5 at the bottom that are tied at 37.
Oh my God. Actually,
so I got to just give you
Just do
a
it.
couple
Just
of them.
do it. Just do it.
Pierre-Luc Dubois received 1 2nd place vote.
that's intense.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Second best defensive forward in the
In
NHL.
the whole league.
He might be the second best defensive forward on the Caps. Jeez. Okay.
So PLD is the one that stands out to me. Mikheyev. And where is his name? I thought
You can't even find it.
Oh, maybe I made that one up. I thought I saw Elias Pettersson, but I saw Elias.
No.
No, it's
Elias.
Yo, you
Lindholm's, that's worse.
You didn't even get even slightly a bit triggered by Pius Suter getting a 5th place
And
vote?
then, yeah.
Pius Suter,
Work on our way down.
The 5th best defensive forward. Listen, I am a Pius Suter booster. And I was dating back to the playoffs.
A Puce truther?
I'm a Puce truther. He had over 20 goals this year. Again, bad team. Somebody's got to score. I think he's good, but I don't think he's fifth in the NHL in defensive forwards good. That's crazy. Crazy.
The ones that receive first place votes that I'm like, that's really iffy.
Top.
Marcus Foligno.
Marcus Foligno is a weird one.
In the whole league?
An NHL writer thought Marcus Foligno was the best defensive forward this entire time.
Hayden vote on these?
Just to give you credit, Matthews only got one first place vote.
Matthews getting a first place. I think
He
is
shouldn't.
egregious as
He
well.
shouldn't. He's good defensive forward, but he's not the best.
He shouldn't.
Like, where did he finish? 12th?
14th.
14th? Like,
Right behind Suzuki.
yeah. All right.
That's fair.
All right.
Those are I think
Those are the egregious ones.
Oh my God. Ilya Mikheyev.
You got to remember that it's hard to it's hard to watch every game. It is.
That means someone who watched every Blackhawks game was like, this is one of the 5 best defensive players
but
in
Steve,
the NHL.
you could rationalize that by saying, hey, when the Blackhawks were on the ice, they only hemorrhaged a little.
Oh my heavens to Betsy. No. Simply no.
Yeah.
Oh my good Lord.
Bo Horvat and Sidney Crosby tied in voting, which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, if he should be higher up on that list.
That's not a correct representation of the players.
Evan Rodriguez. How many Panthers are we going to put on this list?
Yeah, Evan Rodriguez has received 1 5th place vote.
Evan Rodriguez.
Anton Lundell. How many Panthers got a vote? I counted
quite
4.
a few.
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. 4. 4 is the answer. There you go.
Nick Dowd in Washington? The fuck?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Who cares? It's fun.
I know.
I like it.
I think
it's
your
funny.
job as a voter is to represent like what happened that season and history, because like all of this is recorded and you look back and you're like, oh, these are the 10 best defensive forwards. And if you're just messing around and giving Pew Suter a bunch of votes, like you're screwing with history.
Wait. We haven't gotten the Seth Rorabaugh article yet.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like, here's my janky votes and why I did them.
Wyshynski
For
did.
anybody who doesn't know, that's the Pittsburgh writer who consistently messes with the voting.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll give like Chris Letang a Selke vote, and you're like, he's not even a forward.
He should have won the Rocket.
yeah.
It's not a voting award. What do you... Anyway.
He's like, we have the NHL head office is like, we keep getting votes from a Seth Rohrbach for the Art Ross.
Rossum.
We're not even sure what to do with it.
I'm not sure. Okay, we'll put that in the maybe pile.
yeah.
Greg Wyshynski put his out, and he said he voted Sam Reinhart first, Cirelli second, Hisho third, Barkov fourth, and Seth Jarvis fifth. So
Jarvis is...
he got 4
very,
of the
very
5 in the top 10 at least, right? So that's where those
Having
were.
Barkov that low is interesting.
Julian McKenzie had Cirelli, Barkov, Hagel, Reinhart, Jarvis.
That's a good list.
Good list. And do you want me to look up the Seth for once?
No.
Nah. Okay.
It's
No.
fine.
I
I'm
wonder if
following
he's
him.
the one who had Logan O'Connor with 1 3rd place.
Logan O'Connor.
I wonder, what does Drew think about Logan O'Connor getting a 3rd place Selke vote?
There's nothing I want more than a camera on Drew right now.
No.
Can you text him and ask him, please?
I will.
Yeah, tell him Logan O'Connor got 1 3rd place vote, finished 29th, tied with Nathan McKinnon.
Drew, how do we feel about Logan O'Connor getting a Selke vote? ?
3rd place vote.
He's either going to be like, oh, he should have got a first, or what the hell is that list? It won't be like, yeah, he deserved it. It will be he deserved more or he deserved way less. That's going to be Drew's response. I guarantee it. One of those two. So the other
I
question.
can't wait till the other awards.
Oh, the other awards are great.
Like, who's the worst defenseman who's going to get a Norris Trophy
Cody
vote?
Ceci.
Cody Ceci.
Oh, Cody Cece's getting votes.
Top pair minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The way that was a really smart pickup by Dallas at the deadline, picking him up from the San Jose Sharks. Like, what a crazy move. Granlund was smart, actually. It was a really smart move. Worked out for them. Conn Smythe predictions before the... I want to get
Drew said best PKer in the NHL.
See, I told you.
O'Connor.
I told you. Wow. Should have got more. All right, now, boys. I want a pre-series Conn Smythe prediction. Remember, last year, Connor McDavid won it, but the team lost, and he didn't even come out. People were like, what about the kids?
I don't think anyone on a losing team this year is going to be so overwhelmingly good that they win the Conn Smythe. So whoever wins the Conn Smythe will be on the winners this year.
Okay, so pick a winner from each team.
No, that's a cop-out.
Is that a cop-out?
You got one.
I got a fun one.
I think Barkov.
Okay. Jesse.
Connor McDavid.
Great.
Whoa.
Not overthinking it. You know what I think? Brad Marchand. I think that line, because Luosterainen's going to play game one. They just said today. I wasn't sure if he's not going to play. That line is a problem.
Marchand is really, really good. I don't even think he's the best player on his line.
You think Luosterainen is?
Lindell. How dare I am an Anton Lindell truther, and I'm going to shout it until people get it. He hasn't even reached 50 points
Barkov's
yet.
leading the team in points. If he ends up leading the Panthers in points and they win the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
it's Conn Smythe.
But what about Brad Marchand getting 3 hat-tricks in 3 games to start the series? That's what's going to happen.
Well, in that case,
I actually think he's due for a standout. You remember how it ended against St. Louis?
He might catch Logan O'Connor in votes.
He might. He gave up. Brad Marchand gave up the eventual series-winning goal in the Stanley Cup the last time he was in, right? So this is like redemption. This is remember the tears crying by the bench? I've relished that picture forever.
He just made such a terrible play. Like, it cost him the game.
Yes. And I think Brad Marchand's due for a redemption, folks.
Lifetime Achievement Award?
I think this is, remember, you can say Anton Lindell all you want, but does Anton Lindell have a brand name outside of Florida in the way that he should? Not yet. And to win an award, you got to have a brand name. You have to have done it for a while.
So let's go back to one of the more controversial picks and compare. Crosby winning it over Phil Kessel.
I mean, Crosby probably deserved it. I wanted Phil to get it.
Crosby probably deserved it, so there's that. But like Barkov probably deserves it, so there's that. Here's the difference. I think there were a number of media types who got to vote on the Conn Smythe that year who were like, we can't actually give it to Phil. There's none of that for Brad. There's none of that.
Everybody's on side.
He's got to be. I mean, I'm handing out the Conn Smythe with the stats that I know in front of me. Mm-hmm. You know what? I should take it away. I'm not going to say Barkov because there is a Panther who I've been saying might win the Conn Smythe.
Jesse, is he allowed to do that? He just said Barkov. Is he allowed to take it?
Can I take it away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a player I've been saying consistently, and I'm going to stick to it. Sam Bennett.
No.
Sam Bennett.
I mean, what has he had? He's had 10 goals and 9 of them have been on the road or something like that?
10 goals. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but most of them on the road is insane.
It's insane. Both elbows to the head, I believe, are on the road. Also, guy's a road warrior. And I shot my preview this morning, and I want to know who on the Oilers he tries to or successfully injures in the first 2 games. It's going to happen.
It's a good question.
What I also want to know is...
You can't do that to Corey Perry. You got to save it for one of the big guys.
Yes. So I was trying to figure out which team tries to drag the other into the muck. And I think it's the Oilers, actually. Try to drag the Panthers in.
Why do you say that?
I think the Panthers are deeper and more overwhelming. I just do. So, like, what I thought was, okay, so I would put the Bennett line against the Henrique line. Wait a sec. The Henrique line often has Evander Kane on it.
Yes.
And I actually don't want those two going head to head. I don't want Sam Bennett going at Evander Kane after whistles and stuff. And by that, I mean, I don't want Evander Kane going at him.
Because Evander Kane can push back.
First of all, I think Evander Kane would kick his ass. And second of all, I don't think that's a good trade.
So where do you put him?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is who gets the McDavid assignment and who gets the Draisaitl.
You have to give Reinhart and Barkov the McDavid assignment. You have to try that.
You would think so, but like there's what you throw out there to neutralize, and then there's what you throw out there to simply kick their ass.
Right.
So like when the Panthers put Lindell on the Matthews line and took Barkov off, the Lindell line did a really good job of neutralizing Matthews, and that sort of became the story. What we sort of missed out on was now the Barkov line is just kicking whoever they're playing's ass.
Yep.
Right? So do you throw out the Lindell line against McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and I guess Perry?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, taking out Hyman really
screws things up, doesn't it?
It just doesn't look near as good. And there are some guys who are playing really well and above their weight, and it's Zach Hyman. Like, you're just not replacing that player. I give them I have a way easier time believing Edmonton can win the series if he plays. And I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. If the Oilers find themselves in an elimination game, like a game 6, Hyman plays.
Oh,
You think so? Huh?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I feel like that's probably not going to happen.
Didn't they announce that he like had surgery and he's
but
not coming back?
Yeah, but it's hockey and they lie all the time.
If you're moving off your Barkov Conn Smythe pick, I'll take it from you and I'll move off of McDavid instead of hedging my bets.
Oh, you stink.
Yeah.
What? Right.
So I'll take Barkov. The Sidney Crosby, Phil Kessel thing, it was truly a you had to be there kind of situation because the stats back up that the writers got history right.
Yes.
Crosby and Kessel tied for goals. They had the same amount of goals. Crosby had more assists. He played 2 more minutes a night. If you just look at all the counting stats, he was the center. He was Sidney Crosby. He even on even strength goals, he beat Phil Kessel. Like nothing there compared. Looking at the counting stats, argues that Phil Kessel should have got it. But the impact that Kessel had on that line,
yes,
where they it felt like every game they had the game-winning goal. They came up big for the team in the darkest
HBK?
moments when they needed it. The HBK line, and in the moment, it felt like Phil Kessel deserved it. But in those cases, you always got to default to the main star on the team. And you always got to say that he has to lose it. Like he's holding the belt right now and he has to do something so egregious that he has to lose that, because when we look back on history, it's going to be like, oh, Crosby should deserve that Conn Smythe. And everybody in that moment got it right. And everybody who was arguing with Phil Kessel, history would have proved you wrong.
Who was HBK? Who was the HBK line? Hagelin? Who was that? Hagelin, Kessel? Who was the beat?
Malkin. Oh, HBK. Oh, that was HBK. Sorry.
Oh, Bonino.
Oh, yeah.
So who were they going up against? I mean,
Right.
You got Crosby on one line, you have Malkin on the other, and then I don't know. At some point, when you're out there, you just have to take your chances against who you're going up. Like what? Okay, we're going to adapt our whole game plan into shutting down the third line. No, like we just have to take our chances. That's why Florida's so formidable. What do you do about that third line?
Yep.
It's
That's what I keep saying.
and
That's
the
why I
Oilers
picked
have
Brad.
a good one.
I know.
They
Oh,
have
they
a
have a
good
great
one,
one.
but I just think
the other
they're
reason
more overwhelming.
I lean Panthers. The other reason I lean Panthers is because the Florida Panthers were up 3-0 in the series last year.
It was 3 series. The first 3 games where Edmonton didn't look like they had a chance.
Yep.
The games 4, 5, and 6 where you're like, oh my God, they're actually going to do it. Florida's cooked. And then game 7, it was its own series, and it might have been the only normal game of the series.
Yep. Probably a good time to mention Steve's going to be doing the watch-alongs for this. So every single Stanley Cup final game, SDPN will have Steve Dangle and Drew with his Drew O'Connor. Or was it Logan O'Connor? Which O'Connor was it?
Logan
O'Connor fandom.
Yes.
Will be joining. Now, I want to get to the BetMGM big story, if that's okay.
Yes.
Am I allowed to do that?
No. So Jesse, go ahead.
Let's do that. This is the perfect time to get into the BetMGM big story because we are a couple days before the Stanley Cup final, and now the odds are starting to settle, and we get a sense of what the money lines are and who might win what award and where people are voting. So Jesse, let's just start. Should we start with just game 1, or do we talk about the series as a whole as it's looking right now? That's my question.
I think let's start with game 1.
Game 1.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that the like the Leafs were the underdog in every game in the Panthers series. I'm going to assume that the Oilers come into this slight underdog to the Panthers. Am I correct?
They must. Home ice, though.
You'd be incorrect.
Wow.
The Oilers are the favorite to win game 1, and the Oilers are the favorite right now to win the Stanley Cup.
No kidding.
Yes.
By how much? Is it slight, or is it pretty?
A little. To win the Stanley Cup, it's 1.8 times your money, and for the Oilers, and then for the Panthers, it's over 2-1, 2.05.
The reigning Cup champs.
Yeah. The Edmonton Oilers are the favorite. So the Edmonton Oilers came into this season as the favorites to win the Stanley Cup on like day 1 of the regular season.
Yep.
And the Florida Panthers were second in odds in the preseason odds. So
It's actually kind of perfect.
how things played out the entire season is how we have the odds right now.
Damn, the odds are good. The odds were smart this year.
Honestly.
That's a Panthers bet for me. Panthers is the underdog. Yeah, okay. I'll take it.
The reasoning there is the home team. They're giving them the edge
Yes.
right now. It's the
Right.
first game of the series. You'd think that the home team can get one of these two at home, and you'd think it'd be the first one. So that's kind of why the Oilers are the favorites to win tonight.
Is there a Conn Smythe betting favorite?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Okay, we'll
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid. Okay, so here's what I want to guess. Who's number 2 and who's number 3? I'm going to guess number 2 would be Barkov.
No, we did this last episode. I'm
Did we?
sure. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it might have been. Did we? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, but you guys can't remember.
Bob.
So
I can't remember shit.
Guess again.
Is it Bob?
I guess.
I don't know.
You guessed correctly. It was Bob.
It was Bob, and then number 3,
Barkov.
Barkov.
And then we
Interesting.
got Draisaitl, Kachuk, Bennett, Skinner, Marchand, Verhaeghe.
Marchand. I'm putting $2 on Marchand.
61-1.
61-1. That would be great. Are you kidding me?
What?
For Marchand?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you
I
not
might-
say yes to that?
I might need Brad Marchand to make me some money.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Big money, Brad. Let's go.
money.
Yeah, your $2 paying you $122.
Come on. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. Okay. So did you say that the odds for the actual ultimate winner, have we said that yet?
Yeah, Edmonton is the favorite, 1.8.
1.8. Would you take if Edmonton's the favorite, would you put 2 on the Panthers just to
Yeah, they owe me.
Yeah, they do owe you.
I need to make money off the Panthers. They owe me.
Man, imagine being a fan who cares. It sucks, huh?
Just
sucks.
awful.
Just sucks. Okay.
I can give you some of the specials too.
give it to us
if you want some
yes,
of those.
I want.
There's a Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl 6+ shots in any game of the series.
So all they have to do is get 6+ shots in one game.
Yeah.
Oh, you take that immediately.
Yeah.
Bling.
Okay.
Yep.
There's Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl 7+ shots. That'll
would take
actually
that,
net
too.
you like more than 2-1 your money. Like if you put $2 on that, you'd get back $470. So
It is dry.
$270.
Yeah, you do it.
7+ shots for either one of those guys in one game.
You do that.
Okay.
You totally do that.
Would you do that? How high can we go? Because there's a bet for
12.
8+ shots. Would you?
That's
that's
insane.
That's your $2 times 5.
Now we get into, okay, it is the Panthers territory. There's going to be so many penalties in the first 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah, I take it.
Who do you think's the top goal scorer of the series?
I'm gonna say Leon.
He's the favorite.
Yeah, I think Leon.
Carter Verhaeghe.
He's been a monster in
Verhaeghe.
clutch.
Let me see if they got Carter Verhaeghe to
Give me
lead
a
the
weird
series in
one.
scoring. I don't think they have Carter Verhaeghe
What?
odds.
At all?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
14-1.
Oh, that might be a good
Hell
one.
yeah.
Who
Hell
else
yeah.
is down there in that range?
The 14. We got Draisaitl, McDavid, Reinhart, Bennett, Kachuk is 10-1, and then we get the funny ones. Barkov's 14, Verhaeghe's 14, Kane is 15, Nuge is 19-1.
I could
Marchand
see
is
Nuge
19.
It's
doing
been
it.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see Nuge do. With those types of bets, I like an outlier for that. That's what makes it more fun. Like, oh, you're betting Leon Draisaitl to win. Oh, that sounds like a great time. Like, no, you want to have something fun.
Nah.
I can
I
give
bet
you-
on the same one everyone else voted for.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys are 200-1 to lead the series in scoring. Troy Stetcher, Matthias Janmark,
Stetcher might not play.
Derek Ryan, Nico Mikkola, AJ Greer, Nate Schmidt, Balinskis, Kulikov, Gadjevich, Seth Jones, and Nosek.
I would take Greer.
Would you put $2 on any of those guys? 200-1.
Seth Jones, but also Derek Ryan still playing?
He hasn't played these
I
playoffs. I don't
legitimately
think.
did not know that.
Yeah.
He's on the board to take your money.
I had absolutely no idea.
Are any of those guys taking?
Nico Mikkola is going to play every minute, and he's hurt. So,
Seth Jones would be the one.
Seth,
right?
Yeah.
He's got like 3-4 goals.
and big ones, big goals.
I also, for the favorites, I wouldn't take Kachuk. He has a bunch of points in these playoffs, but most of them are assists.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good use of your toonie.
All right. So those are some of the fun bets.
That is fun. Okay, so listen, go to betmgm.com for terms and conditions. BetMGM.com/dangle. Get your futures betting in now because there's some fun ones on the board.
There are some fun
A
ones.
defenseman to win the Conn Smythe trophy, 250 times your money.
Are you freaking serious?
Yeah.
I mean, who would it be?
I might
Ekholm, Ekblad.
No, Bouchard, and Bouchard.
Yeah.
Aw.
You know what?
Evan Bouchard doesn't owe me anything.
If you bet on Evan Bouchard after the shit you've given him, I think you do it.
I got to do some beard stroking about that.
That'd be a $500 win.
Yeah.
Oh, any defenseman.
Any defenseman
That's a crazy bet, man.
to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, 250
Come
to
on.
1.
You got to take it. You got to take it.
I got to do some beard
Yeah,
stroking
you
about
do.
that.
You do. Especially with you said there's going to be a lot of penalties in the first few games. Who's going to get the Bouch bomb?
He's a defenseman who's currently 4th in the NHL in scoring.
If he has a huge series, they win the cup. Steve Nuts $500.
Oh, I am going to. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put $2 down, and then I'm just going to start beating that boost drum. I'm just going to be like, "Come on, everybody! I got to put it out.
CJ.
Come on, everybody!" That's hilarious.
I love it. All right, BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Go to BetMGM.com/Dangle. And by the way, just one last Stanley Cup Finals prediction. Sportlogic has the Edmonton Oilers at 52% to win in 7.
That makes sense.
As the home, yeah.
I love a good, like, close Stanley Cup final. Like, that's what this feels like.
I love.
I love, like,
four and done
four and
ass
done.
kicking.
Sometimes that's satisfying. Like, I won't lie, as a Leaf fan, watching the Senators get their asses kicked was pretty cool.
Oh, that was
I loved that.
So great.
I loved that.
I do remember every Canadian who's like, "No, I want to see a Canadian team." As a Leafs fan,
Yeah.
Okay, listen. You can be a Canadian and be like, "I want the Oilers to win." I don't expect any of those people to live in or around Calgary.
Right. 100%. No. Yeah, nobody in
Like, are
Calgary.
you out of your mind?
Everybody in Calgary's a Panthers fan, unless they're from Edmonton.
Canucks fans might be like, out east, fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it would be tough for Canucks fans to root for Matthew Tkachuk, though, because he was such a bastard over there. Right? So do you go Edmonton or do you go Matthew Tkachuk?
There's a lot of people who are picking C.
I hope both teams
in this
get hurt and have no
I hope
fun.
it's 7 games
And it's pain.
It's both your farm affiliates at the end of it.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, we got word, and I was at the Amazon upfronts for this NHL Face-Off series, season 2, and I wanted to go through the names and get your reactions to all of them.
There's some really good ones.
Starting with Quinton Byfield of Los Angeles Kings.
That is interesting.
Young, up-and-coming guy living in LA.
You have to like the NHL is sort of tapping into guys we haven't learned enough about over the course of their career. So you go with old guys. No, we need young guys here.
Yeah.
We need. I feel like
Future stars. You're trying to build the stars.
yeah. Season 1 was a little bit more about like here's the current crop, and Byfield is. I wouldn't say still waiting to break out, but like he hasn't had a true star season. He's an established NHL player. He's really, really good. But like, where's his 40 goal?
Yeah, you're
Like,
waiting for
100
that.
point? Yeah.
that's
and
fine.
we all think it could come.
That's why
Adam,
they're.
you spent a career in celebrity pop culture world.
I sure did.
Where does an LA Kings star rank amongst LA celebrities?
It depends on. First off, the most famous LA King is still Wayne Gretzky.
They might not
that
be D-list.
well, but Anze Kopitar is a huge star in LA. Anze
Yeah?
Kopitar is a huge star in
With
LA.
who?
With
Will
Kings
Ferrell
fans.
knows him.
He's
Tom
like
Hanks knows
no,
him?
he's like a part of the fabric of the city. Don't hate on it.
That fucking Kings players.
I'm not going so hard at Kings.
Yeah,
players. It's LA.
You started this like they might not even be D-list.
It's
I asked
LA.
Adam the question.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Adam, the Californian. All right?
I would say that the biggest star is still Anze Kopitar, and Dustin Brown had his moment, and like some of those guys had moments when they were obviously Stanley Cup winners, but Anze is like one of those legends that if you're a Kings and a Lakers fans, you're like Anze is on the level of like Magic Johnson or whatever for the contributions to the city. I'm not saying they're the same player; they are objectively opposite players.
Most
Everybody
famous
relax.
Slovenian in America. Name one more famous. You can't.
You can't. Probably
Can't.
is.
No.
Probably is.
He probably
Also, good
is.
friends with the CEO and like team principal of the McLaren F1 team. He's always at McLaren F1 events, and I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's
You
go.
should talk about that on Nailing the Eighth.
Well, Zach Brown is a big LA Kings fan. Posts about them all the time.
Oh,
Just saying.
great.
Yeah.
What a nerd. Not even a real sport.
Not even a real. Number 2 on the list, and I thought you guys would like this. Sidney Crosby. who we know
yes.
next to nothing about. Really and truly.
And I want to learn a little bit more than next to nothing about.
Are they going to Cole Harbor? Like,
I hope they don't. I want to see.
I've seen a lot of Crosby and Cole.
Yeah, respectfully, I want to see Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Get him drunk.
Like,
I want a drunk Sidney Crosby interview.
CBC exists. Like, Amazon doesn't need to take over hey, here's Nate and Sid in Cole Harbor, like doing.
They don't need to do bits.
Stuff.
Just talk to me, man. Tell me about your life.
Me
What
about
do you do?
Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, what's Sid's daily routine?
Yeah.
You know, we got Jack Eichel's crazy ass daily routine a few years ago. I want to know what Sid does. What does he do? What's he wake up and do? When his alarm goes off, is it a podcast? Is it a ringer? Is it music? Like what?
I want all his stupid equipment.
100%.
Like the stuff that he's had since he was 14.
Love that too.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury on the list.
Nice.
Awesome.
A send off.
Another star. Yeah, great send off. You're right.
Also, he's retiring, so he's more likely to open up.
Yes.
Will Allen make the show?
I hope so.
I would
100%.
think so. If Marc-Andre Fleury's in it, like Allen's got to be around somewhere.
Should I ask him? I'll text him and ask him.
Oh, let's ask right now.
You want to ask right now?
Yeah.
All right. Are you going to text him?
Dear friend Alan Walsh.
A noted friend.
Continue with the names.
The names continue. Another rising star who's actually a star, Thomas Harley. And it will will include, they promised, it will include Four Nations stuff. And Thomas Harley got called up to the Four Nations. It was amazing.
And ended up playing in the final.
Of course.
Like as a
he was
replacement
outstanding.
guy. Yeah, well, he was outstanding. So I want to know about that whole process because that was fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't win it without him. He was really good.
Another young guy, big Four Nations guy, Seth Jarvis.
I want to know about his stupid friends.
Wyatt Johnston of the Dallas Stars will also be there. So you can see there's a real push to get young talent especially in the southern United States in, and I don't blame them at all. Anze Kopitar, who I mentioned already, LA Kings legend. I think he's obviously getting towards the end of his career, and it's sort of, it's probably, I bet his story arc is how do we get one more cup and how do we get past the Oilers? And spoiler alert. Sean Monahan, obviously,
yes.
Good to see a Blue Jacket on there at all.
Yes.
But with the Johnny Gaudreau stuff, I think that's going to be an extraordinarily emotional thing.
That there's no sugarcoating it. That episode, I think, is going to be just rough.
Nylander is back for the Leafs, which I think is a good rep for the Leafs. I like
Fascinating. How many returns?
that. Two. I'll tell you the other one in a
Choosing him
second.
as one of them is interesting.
Well, I think he enjoyed it, and I think they enjoyed him because he is a unique guy. And what they seem to be doing this year is stacking it with more people in fewer episodes. I think last year was 8. I think this year will be 6. So these people are going to get more of a like a segment or two or half an episode, or it'll be kind of weaved in and out in between, where, because that's what they do sometimes with Drive to Survive, right? The same producers, and what they'll do is like you'll have a story arc in one episode and then a bit of a story arc in the next, and then it kind of filters throughout the year.
If you've decided you need a Leaf in there, well, Marner was never going to do it. This year, and Matthews,
Marner will do it next year, I think, on his new team. I think it'll be Mitch on his new team.
Well, if he can,
it'll be Leafs bad, new team good. They'll definitely put it that way. And I honestly do think that.
No, I think that's what we need. We need like an in-depth look at how fandom and fans and patronage is bad.
Mikko Rantanen.
And Matthews was injured and in Europe for a chunk of the season.
Yeah, so
that
it
would have
make
been
sense.
hard to cover.
Although it would have been cool to see what he did in Germany.
It would have been.
Mikko Rantanen of the Avs, Canes, and Stars will be in this series.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
When he signed up, he was an Avalanche. Brendan Shanahan, noted Hockey Hall of Famer.
Also crazy.
Now, this is going to be, to me, the Brendan Shanahan story is going to be how much it means for him to bring a cup to Toronto. And I think this is going to sell a little bit as a resume now. Not that I think what he was trying to do by being a part of this was show, first off, how much it means to him to sell the Leafs on him a little bit, like sell fans on him. I think he thought he was going to be around.
You know how...
Don't you think?
Yes.
Going into the last year of his deal, don't you think he thought he was going to be here?
Oh, yeah. I believe that he thought someone was going to stay in Toronto because that's what he's thought the entire time. We'd be better off with this guy staying in Toronto. Why wouldn't he think that about himself?
Is Steve asking him to be fired and hoping that Steve could watch him carry
Pack your shit.
his
Jesse,
stuff.
that was going to be my next question.
Is Steve gonna make they'll like do a little vignette of the news clips?
Yeah.
They showed me wielding a hammer last time.
Yeah, I think Steve being like, I hope I see him carrying a cardboard box with all this stuff across Maple Leaf Square right now.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a clip? And then they show the press conference. Brendan Shanahan will not be coming back next season.
I don't know. Are they going to show?
That's a good little.
They are
vignette.
going to have a little thing like Brendan Shanahan was released from his contract, or was not contract
And
was not
Steve
renewed.
should be the lead into that.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'll look like a complete asshole.
Well, you were.
And then I'll be like, cool, here's 11 years of them not winning.
I will say this: those 11 years have been your best on YouTube, so you can thank Brendan for that.
Yeah. 11. Yeah. Yeah. Can I?
Of the 18 years, those 11 have been the best.
You know what? God bless the Shanna plan.
Who else on the list?
Brady Tkachuk, who actually was a part of the upfront, they actually FaceTimed him in. And he answered like it was like he was at a press conference. He answered it like I was hoping with Brady that he would like bring the hype, and he was just like, no, it's just cool to be a part of and really excited. And then talk about footage. Yeah, it was great playing with my brother, and yeah, really excited. And yeah, how about the Senators? Yeah, great playing with the boys, and really excited. And you're like, dude, come on, you're Brady Tkachuk. Bring it.
Was Willie not there again?
No,
Oh, he was there last
Billy's not
year.
there.
Was Gary there?
Gary was not there.
Oh.
Yeah, Willie was not there. Gary was not there. They didn't have anybody from the NHL. They just had Brady in on the thing. When we went to the Amazon like hockey announcement, right? That wasn't,
yeah.
and this is their first ever upfront where they show like their full slate, like Fallout and everything else that they're doing too.
Right. Or yeah, 'cause that was the announcement of the panel as well,
Yes.
and like Monday Night Hockey
That
and
was
all that.
huge.
Right?
And nobody asked a bloody question, and then I was like,
You did.
yeah, except for me.
Yes.
Matthew
you for that.
Matthew Tkachuk is the other returning star, as you would expect, because Matthew and Brady's segments, I think, were the highlight of the show last year. They were awesome. I'm salty about it. Listen, I know you hate it.
I hate 'em.
but they were great. They were great. They're great TV with their dad. They were great TV.
Were they great or were they average and great for hockey players?
Grading on a curve, Steven. And the last one is Zach Werenski of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Who I assume will be featured alongside Sean Monahan.
Yes.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the rundown. I think season one walked so season two can run. And season one had moments where it was a little dry. No disrespect to Willie Nylander, but like I don't care that he eats at Sugo. Like that could be like a half thing. It didn't need to be 5 minutes, but half a minute, fine. Sure.
Here's him with his dog.
Yeah.
Here's him having pasta.
The parts that we did get, and I remember watching the only episode I watched with these guys was the first episode. They showed us at that Amazon launch, and they showed the Pasternak William Nylander episode, and the only thing that stood out to me was how everybody shuddered every goal that they showed that Samsonov let in that series. It was crazy.
He got crapped on more than anyone in game one. I don't know if they mentioned his name.
No, I don't think they do.
They just simply showed the very, very ass goals he allowed.
Yeah.
The biggest part for me about that one we watched there was them showing the Marner Willie thing on the bench. Remember we came out of that and we're like, they're going to show it. They're going to show what he actually
Major.
said. Yeah, so that was really cool. And I think like this series, I hope in season 2 we're going to get more moments like that, because that's what stands apart from like the regular hockey coverage we get. We got McDavid in the locker room screaming. You know, you don't get to see that every day. That's a one-of-one moment, and the Willie thing on the bench is the same thing.
I will say it's a shame that
load
Connor's
me up with Four Nation face-off shit.
Oh, 100%. I think it's a shame that Connor McDavid isn't featured directly on this. And I'm going to just be a media guy for a second here and not a fan and say it's bad for the NHL when your best player is not signed up for this. And I think he probably said, I don't want it. I think likely
did it,
He
though.
did it last year.
He did it last year.
You can't ask him every time to be the guy.
I would ask. Hey man, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are in every year of Drive to Survive.
That's
Every
not
damn
true.
year.
That's not true.
Well, Max
didn't.
They
participate.
feature him. He doesn't participate because he's a big
he wanted
friggin'
to,
baby.
He's like, I'm going to start my own thing, and then it never happened.
Yeah, he was going to do his own Max
With
Verstappen Drive to
some
Survive.
Netherlands TV company.
Via Play.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
it.
What?
He's such a friggin' baby. Oh my God. My God. You listen, you want to see pants shitting? Max Verstappen. Like just
Okay.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Let's go back to the premise. No.
Well, sometimes they do have to pee in the race
I
suits.
get why Connor is like, I did it already.
I know,
don't
but
need to come
I
back.
want more Connor because that was the highlight.
What's the drama there? The drama there
He
is
lost the cup.
Yeah, and oh boy. So give me half an hour about how bad he wants to win. The professional athlete.
No, but they're actually
Boo.
they're not done shooting it yet. The finals aren't done.
Could
they could have shot him.
start shooting during the finals?
Sure, they could.
Yeah. Also,
That is
Matthew
great.
Tkachuk's in it, right?
Yeah.
So Matthew Tkachuk will get some Connor adjacent content.
That's true.
You know,
I just
I
want.
think it's fine.
I want another Connor like telling people to dig deep.
I want to hear about the group chat from Four Nation Face Off. Let's talk about that turn.
Well, they did.
There,
They
US.
did show in the
talk
in the
about-
Is
in the
Trump-
trailer. They talk about they have Brady Tkachuk mic'd up and giving Matthew Tkachuk and JT Miller fist bumps. Let's go, boys! And they're all in the box.
That's when the heroes of Team USA rose up
Steve,
and had a warm glass of turnip juice.
how many remotes are going to go through your television when Trump shows up?
None because they lost.
No, nice. Good.
None because they lost. I
Eat
like that.
so much shit.
All right,
Eat your fill of shit.
now
I feel like Steve won that Four Nations face-off.
Jesse, it felt like it.
The amount of heart you had and emotion invested in a Canada win, it's beautiful to watch.
what would have happened if they had?
lose
We'll
and
never
keep
know.
losing? One person in particular.
I love it. I love that.
Oh,
I
me
love
too.
it for you.
I love it for me. You know how many times it's the morning. I got nothing going on. It's a little bit until the train. I'm going to watch the highlights from the gold medal game again. Which one? Great question. I'm going to put on that one. Oh, it's awesome. Great shit.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now listen, green flags, things that are good. We talk about, especially this time of year in hockey, we're talking about, well, these are the problems the team has. There's a problem. This team has a problem, and there are rumblings that they might want to change that problem and fix that problem with this thing.
Well,
Right? But what about what we don't talk about is the fix itself. Like, how do you know that you've been fixed or that this person is a good person and a green flag to your life? Right?
Wow.
Especially in a relationship.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Just saying.
Right.
Therapy can help with that. Therapy can help with that.
Yes.
You looking for that?
I'm looking
For a little green flag love there, my friend?
I'm looking for you to not do laps around me mentally. You're just on another level.
I think you
right
didn't
now.
get a good sleep last night.
No, I mean, no.
Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Listen, we all do therapy. You might want to try it too. And the great thing about BetterHelp is that it's available 24/7 and in which the manner in which you would like to take it. So it's a text, phone, FaceTime, whatever works for you. You can also switch up your therapist if you're not vibing because that actually is key. And they've got 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. So there might be something that's a little bit more specialized to you that you would get more benefit from. And we want you to try it. BetterHelp.com/SDP. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/SDP. Okay. Now, I'm going to run through CJ's trade board because we want to promote our cute journalist.
Do it.
We also have other stuff that we're going to do on the show. I want to talk about Easton Cowan. I want to talk about the Ottenboer drama. I want to talk about this crazy article about the Sabres and Kevin Adams. And
Which you wouldn't let me read.
And then the Islanders Darsh situation is freaking hilarious. And we need to talk about that too.
No.
But I just want to run through these names and we can go quickly. But this is by the way, this is a producer Drew requested segment.
Ooh.
Okay. This is CJ's NHL offseason trade board from May 29th. Okay. Some of these names we've mentioned already, but I want to hear from you guys, yay or nay. And then and if it's a yay, I want to know how you get it done. As in, like, do you want to see them on the Leafs?
And I do need to mention,
Yeah, the Leafs.
We're making it about the Leafs.
we are actively in talks to have CJ on the show
100%.
after the Stanley Cup final,
Yeah.
before the draft.
He's busy.
He's busy.
Yeah, we'll get there.
He's being a cute journalist.
It's also, if we'd had him on right away, what a waste that would have been.
No.
This has got to, I almost think we should wait until free agency's done and then have CJ on and go, okay, give us everything. No?
Because CJ, he's gone to the Bob McKenzie school of tweeting out the last signing from the airport and then going to wherever.
Well,
No, he goes away and disappears.
and we never see him again.
And CJ, he emerges from his cocoon, a beautiful butterfly, CJ, every
And he
September.
flies to Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he flies to Europe. Yeah, no, we're not going to see him.
All right. So first name, Steve and Jesse, you've had some time to think about it. We have talked about it on the show. Christopher Kreider of the New York Rangers, yay or nay on the Leafs? Do you see a fit up the left side? And is that something you would want the Leafs to do?
I'm going to say yes to be stubborn, but it's got to make sense for them. It's got to be
Chris Kreider retained and nothing going back the other way.
Cheap acquisition. Otherwise, no, let's just go out and get someone else.
Jesse, yay or nay?
Chris Kreider at like $4.5 million is a friggin' steal if you can get that. If they can get some money off of that deal he currently has, I think yay for sure.
Well, there was an article recently about the Leafs might be looking at buyouts for some of their depth guys. Mm-hmm. If you can find a way to not have to buy one of those guys out and include them in a trade like that, yippee.
Yeah, there you go. Marco Rossi, Minnesota actively shopping him. He is 5'9", 182 pounds. Yay or nay? Centerman, 23, 60 points. Mostly a distributor. Does apparently, according to some scouting reports, I think it was Jay Fresh that had was like he needs an elite winger usually to give to.
Weirdly,
played 10 minutes a night in the playoffs.
Weirdly, no.
So no.
I don't need a player who performs like that in the playoffs. We don't need another undersized guy, and if they are, they need to be an absolute dog. Mm-hmm. And
Theo Fleury level.
Yeah,
dog.
It simply put him with William Nylander and he'll go off. Get out of here.
Right.
And also if I'm the Wild, I'm charging an arm and a leg for this person. And I just don't see that as.
But he had 11:08 time on ice average in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Down from 18 minutes a night in the regular season.
So
how do you sell that to a playoff team?
Part of 18 is skewed because he was filling in for, wasn't it Kaprizov?
Yeah.
Yeah. Buyer beware there.
Jesse, what do you think?
I'm a no because the recent report is that he was looking for something in the similar range of the Matt Boldy deal, which was 7
times
by 49, which is 7 times 7. And I think $7 million for Rossi's a little bit a little bit too much. So I'd say no at that price point for the Leafs.
If he turns into a really great player, which I would totally believe, I think it might be there, but we haven't seen it.
Could you see because he had 2 goals and an assist in those minutes in the playoffs,
all right,
in 6 games. Could you see a top 3 looking a lot better, or top 4 of Matthews, Tavares, Rossi, Lawton?
Well, I mean, yeah, that'd be sick, obviously.
You'd be okay with that? But,
nah.
You don't think that would move the needle?
It's not. They're going to ask for too much, and I'm not excited. Whereas the Rangers are like, please take this person. That's the difference to me.
Bowen Byram is number 3 of the Buffalo Sabres. This is a left shot, puck moving defenseman. The Leafs have trouble moving the puck. Brad Treliving mentioned that and wanting that. Would you say yay or nay on a guy like this? And by the way, your yay or nay can be based on what the Leafs have to give.
I would say yay. I just don't understand how they do it. Mm-hmm. What does he make?
He was coming off of a 2-year deal where he made 7.7, but I don't think he's going to get a huge raise on that.
I wouldn't think he gets a raise at all. He might have to go backward.
Yeah, he had 38 points in 82 games. I don't think that's
I mean, that's good enough
for the Sabres.
But yeah, they're probably getting top time. My fear is giving someone good to the Sabres.
Right.
But they also might just screw it up because they're the Sabres.
Jesse, yay or nay on Bo Byram?
I'd say yay.
Okay.
Because I think if the number's under $4 million, who cares?
Are you going to get Bo Byram for under $4 million?
No, you're not.
Didn't you say it was in and around what he's making right now?
No, he's making 7.7 right now on a 2-year deal.
Oh, is that what he's making 7?
Yes.
Right?
Well, hold on.
Changes
no,
your.
I thought
maybe
it was 3.
Let me have a look.
8.
Let me just have one more look.
Did you maybe skip ahead to the next
No,
guy?
I'm reading what The Athletic wrote. So, Bo Byram.
I thought it was under 4.
Oh, you're right. 3.85. Sorry.
What?
The way they wrote it. Look, here's the way they wrote it. They wrote it at. So look. No. Seriously, look.
Okay.
They rate fucking Kreider's thing at 6.5 AAV, and then they come off, and then Rossi it's 2.59,
Yeah.
And then RFA coming off 2-year, $7.7 million deal.
Oh, but that's the total.
I know, but they didn't say
I
that.
hate when they do that. No, don't put the damn total.
Yeah, I don't care what the total
so you
is.
said
I want the
three-
AAV.
That's
You made $3.85 million.
3.8, right? Yeah.
So okay, he's going to get a raise from that. So if you get
Oh, my
Bo and
God.
Byram at 5 on a bridge deal,
Oh, I'm into it. I'm into it.
what do you give?
I liked him in the 2022 Cup run. Again, he's not playing necessarily against top competition there. There's injury concerns there. Your left side right now, if you're the Leafs, is Riley, and then who's on the? Oh, it'd be Jake McCabe. I just don't know if you can afford it.
what about Rasmus Anderson, who's next? And this is a yay plus for me.
It is-
I love this player, and I know he had a minus 38 last season. Who cares?
Carlo on the third pair would. Holy shit! Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, because he's a right shot defenseman.
It would you get another really strong power play.
Do you
option.
break up McCabe Tanev and put like say Anderson
No.
Tanev?
No, I go
Good
Tanev,
puck battle winner. So he's a yay for you.
Tanev, Anderson, Carlo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's I have a very hard time reading what the hell the Leafs are going to do back there because they're all locked up. They talked about how they like them all, and then they're like, but we also need to play different. So are you just going to tell them all of them? You're going to tell one of the oldest D-cores in the league, hey, just play differently?
Well, I don't think that's the case. I do think they're going to try to move on from. I know that. So Morgan Riley has said, I'm not waiving my no trade. And then Pierre LeBrun apparently reported this weekend that the Leafs are like, well, we're not going to talk to him. But I just have this feeling.
Oh, man. I don't
Now, when
know.
you have a no move, that means can you be bought out on a no move?
I think so. It just sucks to do.
Yeah.
There's no way. They're not buying out Morgan Riley, Adam. Stop it.
Oh, is that where we've reached?
So a buyout would be
No.
It would save them.
Today on the train, I was looking at like guys on their fourth line, and you're buying out Morgan Riley.
They would save $5.8 million next year.
Yeah.
3.6, 3.8, 3.8, 3.8. Actual cap at 1.63, and then 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, and then
Adam.
2. No,
They're not buying out Morgan Riley. How many years was that?
that's a lot of years.
Shut up.
Okay, so
Stop
not
it.
that. Okay, let's move through this a little bit quicker. John Gibson, obviously a nay, I would think.
No.
Although he did have a kind of Keandre Miller name came up, and I thought
A lot of defensemen.
and young RFA defensemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the reason you go for a guy like Rossi is like, well, he's young and he might grow into it, and yeah, the same thing goes with Miller. Yeah, I would love a player like that. Love a player at that age. Again, I just don't know how you make it happen.
Right. JJ Peterka, we've talked about. He'd
Yeah.
be fun.
That
Left winger.
12 Alan Walshes out of 10.
Whoever
Yes.
gets JJ Paterka is. He's not going back.
He's
to
such
Buffalo.
an animal.
He's not going
I
back.
hope he's a Leaf.
I hope
I'm
so
gonna say
too.
yay.
Yo, stealing him from the Sabres would be very funny, but like you'd have to offer sheet him. and
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have the picks to
Yeah, I don't know if it's even possible. No, they could trade for him.
stop it.
What?
If the Sabres give if the Sabres give JJ Peterka to any Atlantic team, move.
Well, we'll get into that.
Go to Quebec or something.
We'll
Go-
get into that. They
Yeah.
should probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and bring in a new franchise.
Can you look up offer sheet compensation?
Sure.
Please? Because
Yeah.
we're gonna get deeper and deeper into the weeds with JJ Peterka, who's my pet obsession.
Jonathan Marchessault, who makes $5.5 million through 2029. He's 34. He signed just last year, and apparently he's a very honest person and didn't sugarcoat with the Preds how he felt about how things were going, and that apparently has not gone well. It's probably the manner in which it's delivered. Jonathan Marchessault at $5.5 million had 56 points. That's not great, but he's a proven playoff performer.
Conn Smythe winner.
Older guy. And I wonder, like, obviously, I think LeBron already said Montreal, but the Leafs have a somewhat strong right side, but without Marner on, it's going to be
Not
a little
anymore.
bit weaker.
Yeah. They have Nylander in a
here's a guy
clear
who
hole at number 2.
Guaranteed performs in the playoffs, is a total bastard, and $5.5 million in 2029 ain't gonna be that much. We're talking about like 5% of your cap.
He makes like
Way
half
less.
of what Marner made this past year.
Would you go for a guy like? Would you want a guy like that?
Yes.
Jesse, would you want a guy like that on the Leafs?
Yes, I think that's a clear yes.
Eric Carlson, $10 million cap hit, 2 more years.
Just no.
No, you can move on.
Okay.
Not a Leaf.
Here's a guy I like a lot, and people don't seem to like this guy as much as I do, and I don't understand it, but he's got 1 year left, $5 million bucks, and the New York Islanders are supposed to be going in a different direction, although I'm not sure how much direction Matthew Darche is going to be able to take with that team.
Are you about to say Peugeot?
I am.
I do like that player.
JG.
Yeah. Now, the Leafs have enough guys that don't score a lot, but JG Peugeot feels like a guy who's worth getting because his defensive skills are actually elite or one of the better.
He's one of those guys where I'm like, am I remembering like,
What he was?
Is he that good, or am I remembering COVID bubble dude? That was so long ago now.
Yeah.
I don't know if
man.
he pushes the team forward enough.
Does he fill that hole at 3C if you're signing Tavares and you can't find another?
Yeah,
You know?
like I feel like it helped the Leafs, but it feels more like a trade deadline acquisition.
Yeah.
You know, and you keep him for a couple months and see how it goes, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if it's
I mean, that's
like,
probably what he'll be.
That's
Hey.
the move for the Islanders. That's
Right,
not an
yeah,
off-season
yeah,
deal.
No,
but-
it's an off-season deal. It's 1 year left. That's where you get the most value most of the time.
So wait,
He's
he
got
has
this
this
year.
upcoming season
That's it.
and another.
No, this is
no,
it.
just this next one.
Nah.
Like this feels like the Leafs build their lineup, right?
Yep.
And at trade deadline, you add Peugeot to the team, and then your whatever you had, you're now stronger. It doesn't feel like you go get him in the offseason. It feels like you wait till February and then go do the deal.
Got it.
I
Okay.
don't know. That's something.
Nicholas Robertson, will he be back?
Oh,
I don't think.
I think
will.
you keep him.
I think you keep him. Sure.
What if he breaks out? Like what a
He has
friggin'
29
frustrating
goals
player.
in the last 2 years.
What a frustrating
games?
player.
Roughly 120. He had I can look it up, but he was roughly at 50 games, I think, each, or 50 to 60 games each season. I think. Here we go. 56 last year, 69 this year. So roughly 120.
There's such a clear path forward for him. Like especially now that like he's not replacing Marner, obviously, but like there's an opening. There's an opening there, right? And it's 82 games. There's so many
And
games.
it seemed like
I didn't
Rube
even need
liked
to
him.
do that.
Seemed like
Yeah.
Rube liked him until the playoffs, where he sat him.
I'm on keep.
Keep.
You're a keep? Okay.
He's so cheap and young. Still so young.
Might as well.
I'm going to skip past Connor Murphy because I think the answer for the Leafs is no. You don't need that, I don't think. Braden Shen's name has come up again. The Athletic has him as a left wing. What they apparently wanted for him was crazy. And I just question why the Blues would move on from him.
Well, see, now it's the off season and everyone's a little bit more reasonable,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, the Blues again are in a great spot. They can keep this player.
Mm-hmm.
They could trade this player. It doesn't matter. I kind of see that as a July thing,
Okay.
because if you miss out on Tavares or like who are some of the other centers like Bennett,
Duchesne.
once Duchesne comes off the board, you're like, all right, maybe I need to go and try a Braden Shen move
Yeah. Yeah.
for the league. I mean, I think that's a great fit.
Last one, UFA. There's a few others on here, but I think this is the last one that I really want to mention. Nikolai Ehlers, 63 points, 69 games, coming off a 7-year, $42 million deal, can be signed just for money.
Mm-hmm.
And the Leafs will front load you and bonus you as much as you want. Kevin Cheveldayoff indicated he'd like to make Ehlers a Jet for life. The early indications are that he's going to have a difficult time doing so, according to CJ. So, is Ehlers a guy that not only is a fit with the Leafs, but a fit on the side that they need more help on?
Yes. Well, and he can play both.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I want Nikolai Ehlers. To have him and Nylander at the same time after the 2014 draft is so funny.
Is that enough for the Leafs? Like, your Ehlers is probably a pretty expensive contract, right? Now, the Leafs have money to spend.
This is the problem with free agency, right?
Yep.
They really don't have as much as you think.
Well, they have a lot. They have a lot.
Okay, you have a lot of money, but you also have a lot of holes.
It goes
that
away
equals
quick.
not a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at having a lot of money as we have 25 million and 2 spots to fill.
Yep.
That's not it. We have 25 million and we got to fill out like a quarter of our roster. Like, well, all of a sudden, it's
Okay.
actually not a lot
I
of
also
money.
think like the Leafs should be holding back and saving money for the 26
This is going to be my next question.
where there are going to be more free agents and more money available because the salary cap's going up. So like I actually think there isn't a lot available for the Leafs this offseason.
What if you offer $1 bajillion for 1-year deals
Yeah.
to sign these mercenaries
Yeah.
until Connor comes
No,
home?
100%. They
I think
should
you do
be
that.
thinking about the shortest term possible with these players. But guys in free agency don't want to sign 1-year deals.
Well, they might this year. Some of them might be open to it.
They're hockey players.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
you're thinking like, oh,
Alan said it. Alan was mentioning it.
you're thinking like creative people within the industry who are like, this is the best way to go about your career and your business. You sign these 2-year deals, these 1 years, and then you get more money later on. These guys just want to lock up in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, Domi and Bertuzzi did. They signed here, got their 1-year deals, right? But they were, Bertuzzi was a day 2 signing, I think, July 2nd. The chairs had already
Don't
danced
remember.
and it was a flat cap and the Leafs were the only one left. What about this? Because the way I was gonna introduce it was
Selke nominee Ilya Mikheyev.
the rumor, which we love, is that the Raptors and Giannis Antetokounmpo have mutual interest.
That'd be
Okay.
sick.
And so for the Leafs, the same thing could happen next season with Connor McDavid. Now, he goes and he wins a cup this year and he goes and repeats next year. Yeah, take that off the table.
no, I think it's more likely.
You think it's more likely?
Yeah, it's the Giannis situation. He's won NBA championship in Milwaukee. They drafted him. He's been there his whole career. He did his service to that fan
He doesn't
base,
owe them any.
to that city. Connor McDavid winning a cup this year or next year actually strengthens the likelihood that he'll leave because then he's accomplished all he's needed to do in Edmonton, and it's okay if he moves on. It's not like he's leaving them hanging in the balance so close.
Right.
It's you accomplish this thing, now you can move on.
But you know that he's going to want to go to the team that makes him feel like he can win. How do the Leafs become the most attractive team? By saying, Connor, we're just you away.
By adding Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and William Nylander to the team.
I think Connor McDavid goes, yeah, no, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Because I'm
like,
fully resigned, guys, to a step back season for the Leafs where they don't. I've been saying don't spend at the cap. Go into the season like the Sabres with $5 or $6 million and see if you
not
can.
like the Sabres.
Not like the Sabres, but see if you can facilitate other people's salary trades, try to get some assets back, like step back, refuel a little bit, and then push in 2026 starting in the summer.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You guys would be cool with
No
that?
Leaf fan has a problem with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. The only issue is that burns a Matthews year. But it doesn't have
And you
to.
only got 3 of those.
I think the Leafs next year just need to try to win differently.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think they're already going to. They're not going to have a choice.
They're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to win the way underdogs win. You're going to have to grind teams down, which the Leafs are getting better at. You're going to have to get better at shutting down, which the Leafs are getting better at. You're going to have to. They might have to play some real boring hockey. They might. That's how you contend in this supposed step back year. Then you just go out and court Connor McDavid and simply say, Connor, we love you and always have. Please come home. And we create our pajama empire
I like that.
with him, and Tavares comes back for some reason.
and Lorentz.
And
And
Lorenz.
Lorenz, yeah.
Pajama empire!
Lawton 2 in a way.
Pajama empire!
Now,
Yes.
one guy that Leaf fans are super jacked about is Memorial Cup winner Easton Cowan, 15 career points in 9 games in the past 2 Memorial Cups.
Oh, Marchand.
What
for
about
the Pajama Empire?
Pajama Empire, Marchand. I grew up.
Did he have pajamas?
Yo,
I grew up a Leafs fan.
Yeah,
Was
but
the-
did
how
he have Leafs pajamas though?
Oh, he
no,
must have.
top line, Marchand, McDavid, Matthews on the wing.
Come on, let's go. Leafs prospect Easton Cowan, animal at the Memorial Cup, the past 2 Memorial Cups, 9 games, 15 points, which is the exact same as Marner. Became the first player in history to lead the event in scoring in back-to-back years. He leaves the OHL second all-time in playoff points with 96. Also was named the playoff MVP last year and this year. He's now 29 goals, 69 points in 46 regular season games, but his best offensive year came in 2023, 96 points in 54 games. He had some injuries and some weird stuff going on. Now, people are saying they're already slotting him in as a guy who's going to make the team next year. Every scout you talk to says this guy slots out to be probably a middle six forward.
That's okay.
And probably needs at least a year in the AHL. My question to the two of you is, if the Leafs are looking for trade capital, he is at the top of his value
don't you dare.
now.
I totally get it. You trade him, you have almost nothing left in the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
And
what if it's JJ Peterka?
Oh, I don't want to play against Easton Cowan forever. Also, no, you're the corny ass Sabres, and I'm simply taking him. I'm not giving you Easton Cowan for JJ Peterka. What? No. That is a move where the Sabres
know you like
actually.
JJ Peterka a lot.
I do like JJ Peterka a lot.
So that's why.
Okay, here's where I could be talked into that.
Because
he's young also.
He's 23.
Yes.
And JJ Peterka is already good, and Easton Cowan might be good. But we don't know.
That might be the beginning of a villain origin story where, like,
You traded me to the Sabres?
he grew up cheering for the Leafs and specifically Mitch Marner. Then they got rid of Mitch, and then they got rid of you.
And he's named after a hockey stick company, too.
And they
Come on.
sent you to Buffalo, which means not only did they abandon you, they're not afraid of you. They traded you to a divisional rival. And if you do that, you will learn fear. No, I think Easton Cowan is, I mean, here's
Jesse,
the thing about
could you be
JJ
swung on a JJ Peterka for Easton Cowan?
No,
Can you be swung on Easton Cowan for some major asset?
This is one of the most ridiculous conversations.
So you
we've
can't.
had.
So let's say the centerman they want is out there because people's names are going to emerge in the next
Yes.
few weeks. The centerman they want, the attitude, the scoring, they're in their mid to late 20s.
Who are you talking?
I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah, that
Are you
player
telling-
doesn't exist?
Nyes has to get a raise.
Is it McDavid?
Yeah, he does. It's not McDavid. No, Easton Cowan's not a
Cowan for McDavid.
You know what you're going to need if you're going to go after Connor McDavid? A couple guys on ELCs.
Right.
And Easton Cowan's going to be on an ELC. You're going to have to go cheap at a few positions. And I mean, so many teams are able to find success with guys on ELCs or guys on their second contract. You need that. You need that. So you can pry Easton Cowan from my cold dead hands. I keep that player. First Memorial Cup MVP for the London Knights since Mitch Marner, which I think is cruel and unusual. But I mean, this is a great player.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really, really good player. Marner is also a really good player. I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning.
Here's the difference. One of them costs about 10 point something million dollars less than the other.
Right. Okay.
If he plays on your team at all,
Next season.
it's great. And like, I think maybe going to the AHL for a year is maybe ideal for his development. Okay, can he play in the NHL? Can he play middle six? Like, you know how we had the wee McFun line with Domi,
McMahon,
Robertson, and Domi?
Yeah.
You're telling me Easton Cowan can't be one of those? Like one of those players? Come on. I bet he could. I bet he could. We'll find out in camp. Like 2 years ago in exhibition, we looked at this kid and we said, he might be able to play.
Yep.
This past year, he didn't have a good camp. Didn't look good. Preseason's going to tell us a lot about what we need to know about Easton Cowan.
Okay.
You look good at a camp. They're giving you a spot on this team.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
What'll be interesting coming out of free agency is I wonder if we look at the team and we go, uh-oh, there's a gap. There's a hole there. Uh-oh, how are they going to Easton Cowan?
Yep. I'm looking at some of the buyout stuff because there was that report from Elliot Friedman that towards the bottom of the lineup, the Leafs might be looking to buy out some players. Calle Arncroke only saves you $500,000, so I don't see why they would do that.
Oh, you went and did it.
David Kampf saves you $700,000 this year and $700,000 next year. I don't see why you would do that.
With a $358,000 cap penalty the 2 years after that.
Yeah, I don't see why you do that. I don't.
It doesn't even free up a minimum contract for you.
Yeah, Domi saves you $1 million. Like I don't see.
You're not buying out Domi.
You're not buying out Domi. I thought,
Ryan
especially
Reeves.
after the playoffs. Ryan Reeves. Why don't you just bury that?
Is $900,000 in cap relief this year and $450,000 penalty the year after.
Why don't you just bury it? Send him to the Marlies.
I kind of think you might be able to trade him.
Okay,
As
maybe
crazy
you can.
as that sounds.
I don't know where those buyouts are going to come. Is my question.
Yeah,
I'm not
it was
sure
an
what
odd report because I didn't know. I was like, who?
Yeah, because everybody else is a UFA.
Usually in these cases, there's like a clear buyout candidate. You know, it's like, oh, just buy out that guy, and Leafs don't feel like that team this time around.
No.
I bought out Morgan. Do you want to do the buyout of Morgan Riley?
Yeah, I do. It's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Adam's favorite thing to do on the internet.
It's so bad.
Go on Puckpedia and buy out Morgan
Just
Riley's
take
contract.
money from people. Ha ha ha.
Adam loves it.
That's what I love.
So in year one, they saved $5.8 million. This buyout will last how long?
That's a really interesting buyout,
It's a
actually.
10-year buyout.
That's insane.
10-year buyout. The first year you save $5.8 million. The next 4 years you save $3.8 million. And then the next 3 years you're paying $2.1 million.
So don't look at it from the savings perspective. Here's how much money in your cap is being paid to a player who is not playing for you. 1.63, 3.63, 3.63, 3.63, 3.63, and then beyond that on years where he's not even signed, 2.1, 2.1, 2.1, and then I assume it continues off screen.
Yeah, through to the 10-year mark. So you keep going.
Oh my God.
Then the next 5 years where he
That
could
doesn't
be
make
playing
sense.
for the Leafs, it's costing you $2.1 million.
No, I
on
think
the
I do think that they need to move on from that player, but it requires the Leafs being something that they're not, which is ruthless. And they're not, as far as I'm concerned from now on, until they get ruthless, they're not serious about winning.
Who's the team that's miserable all the time because it's miserable to be there?
I don't know. Well, like just the losing teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The losing teams.
The losing
The
teams,
Ducks-
but it also looks like they hate it.
The Ducks for the last few years until this year.
Right.
This year it looked like they had fun.
Buffalo.
There's an
Buffalo,
obvious answer.
terrible.
Buffalo.
I don't think they're having a lot of fun in
Buffalo
Detroit.
is obvious. There's another obvious
Chicago's
one.
been, there's some dark times there.
Nashville's not having a good time.
Chicago.
Vancouver's not having a good time.
What kind of pick would you have to attach to Ryan Reeves to send him to one of those teams?
I don't think much.
Why do you need to do that?
Why would you attach a pick? Just bury it.
Just bury his
Yeah,
contract?
well, what isn't the variable salary the amount that he makes anyway?
It's a little less.
Oh, it's like $200,000. Who cares?
I'm just I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to figure it
By
out.
the way, I just want to let you know that your favorite guy is off the market. He will be staying in Tampa. Yanni Gourde. 6-year contract, $2.3 million per year. So he did the Chris Tanev deal, which is he signed for way longer than he's going to play. And what the hell? Why not?
David Kampf makes $2.4 million a year. What is the Yanni Gourde contract?
The Yanni Gourde is $2.3 million for the next 6. Now, it's important to mention that Yanni Gourde's 33 and has had some severe injuries, and you probably get maybe 3 or 4 years out of this player.
Oh, goodness.
But don't you just hate it?
I hope they go 0-82. I'm furious.
He wants to be in the Lightning, man. He wants to be there. And he took extra years. Like, do we think Tanev's going to be playing at 42? I mean, if he's still playing this good at 42, keep him. But these guys are signing these longer-term deals. It brings the AAVs down. They know they're not going to play the whole thing, and they'll go on LTIR when it's over.
I hope whenever Julian Brisebois does his laundry, he accidentally spills bleach on all of his favorite clothes.
That's a crazy deal. It's a good deal. It's a really,
I
really
hope
good
his
deal.
steering wheel is always hot.
Yeah.
And I hope his pillow is always hot. I hope his feet are always cold.
That's like a $25, $26 million deal, right? No, what am I saying? Idiot.
That's
moron.
just not
No,
a
it's
lot of
not.
money.
It's just not a lot. Not a lot. That's like a $12 million deal. I'm such a dummy. Anyway.
I'm so fucking mad. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yanni Gourde makes less than Tucker Poolman. Miles Wood.
Miles Wood's good.
Yeah. Noah Cates.
The singer?
Barrett Hayton.
Hey, Barrett Hayton's good. Barrett Hayton's going to have a breakout year in Utah.
Totally.
Drew keeps saying it.
Don't tell Alan. Jan Ruda.
Good for Jan Ruda.
Luke Cunnin.
You mean a future Leaf, Luke Cunnin?
Brett Kulak.
I hope Victor Hedman retires to open a coffee shop.
Brock McGinn.
I hope Jake
Brock McGinn
Gensel
makes more than Yanni Gourde.
I hope Jake Gensel. You know what? Screw it. Demands a trade to the Panthers. Mutually assured destruction.
Pierre Engvall's making $3 million.
No way.
For a slight financial upgrade, you could have Yanni Gourde instead of Kalle Järnkrok. I'm going to actually, the moment they turn these cameras off, tear this store apart.
Don't threaten our client like that, please.
I am going to jersey Adam. I'm going to put a jersey on him. And then jersey
How much are the Dallas Stars paying Ilya Lobushian?
more.
Oh, they're like, isn't he close to 4?
3.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know,
crazy,
I'd rather
by the
have
way.
Yanni Gourde.
I would have.
I know,
I would
different
rather
positions.
Jesse. I'd rather have Yanni Gourde playing defense all year.
He really makes less than David Kampf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my first one.
Now
2.4.
David Kampf's got
I know.
what? 1 more year? 2 more years? Somebody will take David Kampf. You can trade David Kampf. You also can keep David Kampf.
36-year-old Lars Eller made $2.4 million.
Oh my God, I'm sick.
Yanni Gourde's gonna.
And by the way, Yanni Gourde is it could have been a UFA.
Who's his agent? Who is Yanni Gourde's agent?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, is it crazy, Jesse? Do you find that crazy?
I do.
Do you find that unbelievable and crazy?
I do.
So his agent is Paul Corbeil. Count your days. Way to go, Paul.
He's coming for you.
Count your days.
Corbeil.
Friggin' who else does he have? They're all banned.
Who would you rather have, Engvall or Gourde?
I'm gonna beat you up.
I
is what
think
I'd
I know
rather
the
have.
answer to that one.
I'd rather kick your ass.
Hot take.
Yanni
Gourde.
Gun to the earth.
Gun to the earth.
He actually does have a Leaf client,
Oh yeah.
Who?
Cedric Pare.
Okay.
Thanks for that, Steve. Appreciate
You're welcome.
that. All right, moving on.
Actually furious.
I'm going to give you 2 quotes, guys, and I want to move through this story relatively quickly because we are running out of time. Ottenbohr, the drama in Dallas. Okay. Here's what Pete DeBoer said after Game 5 when he pulled Ottinger after 2 quick goals. No one is a bigger fan of Jake Ottinger than me as a person, as a goalie. Oh, this is the end of season availability. Doesn't matter. No one is a bigger fan of me, of Jake Ottinger, than me as a person and as a
you want
goalie.
to start over?
Yeah, I'll start that one over.
Okay.
So let's start the same. The Ottenbohr drama. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm following.
Now remember that our good friend Pete DeBoer said after the game, "Hey, listen, it's not all Jake's fault, but we had a pretty big sample size that he sucks."
Yeah.
Against Edmonton.
It's important to note his stinking predates this season. He's been asked from time.
But also, it's not his fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here's what DeBoer said at locker cleanout on Saturday. No one is a bigger fan of Jake Ottinger than me as a person or as a goalie. I think Jake is the best young goaltender in the league, but that doesn't mean there's not a learning curve and growth, and that's part of the journey. So that's what DeBoer said. Ottinger said on getting pulled, it sucks. It's embarrassing. Anytime you get pulled, doesn't matter if it's the playoffs or regular season, you just want to go back on the ice and crawl, or get off the ice and crawl into your bed and not talk to anyone. I think for me, just the whole experience, I'm going to learn from it, and it's going to help me grow as a better person and a better goalie. My job is to stop the puck, and I feel like I'm one of the best in the world at doing that. So that's all I'm going to focus on. All the extra stuff is just extra stuff to me. Now, DeBoer did
Ottinger's
say...
going to be 27 before Christmas, by the way.
DeBoer did say that, exactly. He's not that young anymore.
No.
DeBoer did say that they had not spoken yet. So I thought that was the most telling quote.
I thought Ottinger in his comments, like I watched the whole miserable thing. Poor guy. I thought he was the epitome of class. And it was a masterclass in being a classy, upstanding individual while thoroughly conveying how mad you were.
Yes.
He's mad. He is so mad, but he didn't trash anybody.
DeBoer's not gone yet
He
either.
didn't side-eye anybody. Oh, boy.
I thought he
he's
was.
Gonna be.
You think
He's
so?
gonna be. Yeah, they do.
Jesse, you think he's going to be gone? I thought he was. I for sure thought he'd be gone by locker cleanout.
What confused me is he goes, Ottinger, he was battling a respiratory thing, and we considered starting DeSmith in Game 4. I'm like, okay, so you knew he was sick. You could have started DeSmith. Remember, I was like, oh, if his leash was that short, why did you start him? Well, his leash was so short that he almost didn't play the game before. And you decided to talk about how garbage he was dating back to last year while he's sick now? What's the matter with you? No, I don't. If Ottinger can continue that working relationship, he's a better man than I.
Yeah. I think because we're sitting here on Monday and Pete DeBoer still has a job, that he's going to have a job next season. Like with the Dallas Stars head coaching.
No.
I think we've reached too far. I think the 48 hours or whatever it is that he's going to have a job.
Jesse,
they've made the decision now.
You're so wrong.
Why?
You're so new here. It is just before 1 o'clock. This podcast goes up at like what time?
5?
Probably up at 5 today.
4:30. Pete DeBoer gets fired at 4:30.
I don't think so.
got it.
I think it would have happened already.
No.
Now, there is a crazy article in The Athletic, and I have to leave some of this stuff for next time. But it's worth mentioning that Matthew Fairburn did a Terry Pegula's ownership, Kevin Adams' rise, and the hamster wheel of Sabres record playoff drought. And it talks about how Kevin Adams rose through the Sabres organization, especially when the Pegulas took over. One of the things that I want to read for you is Terry Pegula. This is the day he bought the Sabres. He stepped in front of the Buffalo media and he said, he thanked the former owner for saving my hockey team, he said, from bankruptcy. And he said, starting today, the Buffalo Sabres' reason for existence will be to win a Stanley Cup. And then Ted Black, the newly announced team president, who's no longer there, stated a clarion call should go out to the league and hockey players everywhere that Buffalo is a hockey heaven. And it goes into, in 2011, how they spent lavishly for a bit. And then at a certain point, when they bought the Sabres, when they bought the Bills, Terry Pegula stopped coming. Kim Pegula was more involved in the Sabres, but Kim has got some serious health issues, so she's no longer involved in the business day to day. And how Kevin Adams rose throughout. And on Kevin Adams' first day, as a part of the new look Sabres, they got rid of just about everybody. He fired 20 people on his first day as general manager. Yes.
Wow.
In his first day on the job, Adams informed more than 20 people they'd be fired. Longtime scouts, high-ranking executives, and coaches in Rochester all heard from Adams that day. That left Adams as a first-time general manager charged with rebuilding the hockey operations department.
Like when Mr. Burns and Smithers had to run the power plant by themselves?
Yes. And that leads into the story of the free agency a couple months later, and he has no assistants and nobody in the front office to help him with free agency. And he's sitting there with Terry Pegula, and they say, if we sign Taylor Hall, we're going to win a Stanley Cup.
They believe
that's why they handed out to Taylor Hall that giant 8-year contract or $8 million contract for 1 year to get him to Buffalo. And he proceeded to have 2 goals in, 30 games?
Yeah.
And then they traded him to Boston. And that was their plan to win the Stanley Cup because he had no help because he fired everybody on his first week.
Outside of the afternoons he spent in his cubicle in Sabres hockey ops from December 2009 to August 2011, so that's about 18 months, Adams has no prior NHL hockey operations experience.
Seems bad.
And what's interesting about it is he was basically creating the Buffalo Sabres youth program. That's what his main sort of thing was in the mid 2010s.
Because
he was
Pegula built a wonderful complex there in Buffalo where they currently hold the NHL Scouting Combine. That's where it is. And they put Adams in charge of that. And while it was being built, he had nothing to do. So he got his master's degree and just kind of putzed around the organization.
Because it wasn't built, and Steve. He got paid to get his master's.
And he became better friends with Terry Pegula. That's what he did in his spare time when that complex was being built, and eventually he'd go on to run it, then move over to the actual operations of the Sabres.
Now, here's an interesting piece too. Sitting in the alumni room of the 200-level Sabres arena during the interview for the story, Adams said it's not true that he's unwilling to stand up to Pegula or have disagreements with him. Adams said he was honest with Pegula about what went wrong, and where he's made mistakes. He thinks the team needs to improve puck management, team defense, and special teams. I think they need to improve just about everything. But what's amazing about this, and you have to remember power dynamics in this scenario. When you hire Brendan Shanahan for the Leafs, okay, you're hiring a guy who can go to the board and not be intimidated, in fact, intimidate back. It's a power thing. This guy's won cups.
Yes.
He's a Hall of Famer. He knows, he's forgotten more about hockey than you've ever known in your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for as much as it was time to let him go, it's undoubted. It's irrefutable how much he meant to the organization when he got there.
And how positive, especially those first 5 years were.
Yes.
The growth, the change, unbelievable. I will never take that away from him. Low bar, but a lot of teams with a low bar, like the Sabres, never get out of it.
They can't clear the low bar,
right? And we didn't for 20 years before that.
By the way, can I just walk you through how much?
Let me just finish this point.
Okay. Because I got something.
So when Kevin Adams stands up to Terry Pegula, he was an NHL player, won a cup, role player, but he won a cup.
Sure.
And has very little ops experience and no cups as a manager and no connections to head office, which Shanny did because he ran, Department of Player Safety. Yes. Sakic obviously stepped in because he was Sakic and it was the Avalanche. Yzerman learned in Tampa, then ran Tampa, then left Tampa. They go on to win, go to 2 cups and 3 or something like that. There are guys that are former players that have gone. I don't think. What struck me about this story is I don't think Kevin Adams has the heft of personality and resume behind him to truly, he can push back on Terry. You know what, Terry, I don't know if I disagree. I would go this direction, but you're not going to go toe-to-toe with Terry Pegula the way that some of these Hall of Famers or some of like a Jim Rutherford who never played, or no, he did play, but played and was more an experienced manager is going to have with an Aquilini.
He's more notable as a executive than he was as a player.
Bingo.
All right.
Yeah. So, yes.
Do you want to do your thing? Because I want to talk about that first.
I want to talk about, so the Taylor Hall trade, the signing, the whole thing with that was, okay, they signed him to a expensive 1-year deal, but he's going to play there and he's either going to do great and they extend him or they're going to trade him. That trade stunk monkey balls so bad. He was traded along with Curtis Lazar to the Boston Bruins in exchange for Anders Bjork, who is a 2nd-round pick, and another 2nd-round pick from 2021. Anders Bjork ended up getting traded to the Blackhawks for future considerations.
So nothing.
And the 2nd-round pick, the Sabres used to select Alexander Kisakov, who was in the AHL for the last 3 seasons. Sorry, Adam.
It's all right.
And he was selected 4 picks. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks, ahead of Matthew Nyes. And JJ Moser was also
picked
by the way, that round.
In North American scouting, you have no excuse.
It's
all on TV.
Well, they fired them all.
Yeah. Well, I think Adam, you're outlining that power dynamic between him and the Pegulas, and that was one of the biggest takeaways I think from the whole piece is that Adams has everything in his executive career in his life because of Terry Pegula. He met him very early on in his tenure in Buffalo, and he worked his way up because he became good buddies with Pegula. And there was a moment where they outlined there he was going to leave because they had fired the first regime of the Sabres front office, and he was there helping out as an assistant coach at the time.
Something like that.
And they said, hey, come run this prospect thing we're building, this ice pad, so you don't leave and go somewhere else because you're such an aid to us. And he's in debt to the Pegulas for his entire career. And I don't know how you can ever go to Pegula and disagree with him when you have that kind of dynamic.
Made you.
And I feel like that's so important to the way he's perceived in the league, because they had this quote from an anonymous executive in the league talking about Adams. And they said, I think that's what rubs people the wrong way. Said what? Oh, it was actually a former scout. He wasn't in Fargo. They're talking about Kevin Adams. He wasn't in Fargo watching a game. He wasn't in Medicine Hat watching a game. He wasn't at the U18s in Slovakia in August, missing family vacation. That's the grind. That's what pretty much everybody else did, unless your name is Joe Sakic. Sabres executives vetted at least 2 candidates for potential senior advisor positions to help Adams. He said they couldn't find the right fit and isn't sure if anyone would have had the experience with what the Sabres were going through at the time. So this guy, everybody in the league looks at him and they say, everything was handed to you. You didn't earn this position as GM of a hockey team. I'm not going to help this guy out with trades or even want to have a position in his front office. I'm not going to listen to you. Mm-hmm. You're nobody. And everybody who's been through the grind in the league and gets that GM position has earned it through like being a great player, working their way up as an assistant, or like occasionally you see the agent make that transition directly to those positions.
Occasionally.
Kevin Adams is the single outlier of a guy who was just handed the keys and it hasn't earned it. And hockey, we know this, is such a small community and a brotherhood, and you know everybody in there.
Do they like new guys?
No.
At the clubhouse?
Anybody in the league has respect for him? No. So I think finally they got in Kekalainen and Stahl, who we played with in Carolina and won that cup with. Like, those are the guys they finally gotten in there after 11 years of the Pagulas running this thing and 5 years of Adams being at the helm. This is a disaster.
Yeah.
Kekalainen needed a job. Right?
And when you see like how Adams got to that position, you understand why this has never worked.
I'm also curious, like everybody... I felt like I was living the upside down a little bit because, like, everybody's like, no, the Kekalainen thing, and you even said it on the last show. Well, it's experience.
I'm grading on a curve.
Yeah, but like that is, you hired the guy from the team, the other team, which was a trademark for futility over the last decade. Well, and you're going to put them together.
But Adam, they spent 4 or 5 years not hiring a senior advisor.
Anyone at all, yeah.
So I'm commending them for finally getting somebody in there, because they should have had this from the beginning. He came in the week of and fired 20 people.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just go out and get Steve Yzerman when he was available? Why didn't they just go and get Matthew Darsh? Like, why didn't they just go out and get... They don't want to go there! And it's got nothing to do with the city. It's got everything to do with your team stinks.
Yeah,
and
I feel for Sabres fans.
Their brand is stink. They stink. The Leafs brand is they choke. It's very different. You stop yelling at
You
the
have to be good to choke.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be up to get down. The Sabres just dig and dig.
Yeah,
and
you have to be in love to break hearts, right?
The Sabres are that lady who tried to build a castle out of the rocks under her house. Did you ever hear about that?
I don't know if I know that one.
She built a mine shaft beneath her house.
TikTok lady, right?
And then everyone's like, you can't do this. And then the city came in and was like, yeah, we got to shut this down.
And people were like, I can't believe the city's telling her to not.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the deep state.
And the neighbors are like, what if our houses collapse?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
The last quote I wanted to get in there, because like I was fascinated by this whole
great article.
Because they talked about how because there's footage of the behind the scenes Sabres stuff, and you can just find it on YouTube, but like how these free agencies get done, because the Sabres are trying to get fans in and show them behind the scenes access. And in every clip that they reference in there, it's Adams on the phone with Pagula being like, hey, I want to check in on this deal and everything. And they talk about,
I left you $20 for pizza.
If you fire Adams and you bring in somebody else, how the hell do they expect to do the job without having to talk to Pagula? And one former NHL executive said this: any self-respecting GM who takes that job is going to say, I have to be able to run this for you, to Pagula. I know it's your team and I have to talk to you about things, but I have to be able to build a team and make decisions. If I have to run a simple Henry Jokiharju for a fourth by you, what are we doing? Because that's what Adams does.
Why is Jokiharju? Why is he catching straight?
Guy was the only Finnish defenseman not to be named to the Four Nations team. Like, it's brutal. What the hell, man? And I got to play for the Sabres.
What the? I'm already here.
It's so funny, because that's the example you use. Like, Adams has got to sit there and be like, hey, Terry, I'm going to get Jokiharju for a fourth, I'm going to move him out. And like, nobody wants to do that job.
No. And
so the only people who can work the Pagulas is a dude they groomed for 10 years to do the job.
And think of one of the first stories Alan ever told us.
What's that?
Where he has a player he's representing, and he's got a GM on one line, he's got another GM on another, and he tells his player, I need a decision. And the player goes, can I tell you tomorrow? And he goes, tomorrow? You got to tell me in the next 30 seconds. So imagine trying to do business with the Sabres as an agent or as another
That's
team.
such a good point.
It's always I got to make the extra call to Terry, and there's no time.
Yeah.
There's no time. Let's get this done. You're calling your owner.
You gotta call your
over
daddy.
Henry Yoki. How are
You
you?
gotta call your daddy to see if you can make this trade.
Have you ever?
And he's
on.
busy with Josh Allen.
Have you
Come
ever
on.
negotiated with somebody too that objectively doesn't know what they're talking about, like on like Facebook Marketplace? So it's like I've got this
Yeah. My wife
old
does
shitty
that more.
car with 250,000 kilometers on it, but I want 30 grand.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have a feeling that calling the Sabres would be a pain in the ass because you think, oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to rip them off. They have no idea what fair value is, I don't think.
It's actually exhausting to rip them off.
Yeah, it's actually like you can't because they overvalue everything so much that it's like it's almost like they don't get business done by default, right? They're just such a pain.
First round pick.
I at
What?
least want-
future considerations. What? All right. I'll settle for a third and a fourth. What?
Can you imagine? The negotiations must be painful.
I can vividly
Painful.
imagine. There might be footage.
Yeah, I feel for Sabres fans, man. They deserve so much better. And the thing that stuck out to me was their attendance numbers are falling off a cliff. And like over the last 5 years, they've been falling. And I mean, you should.
yeah.
But that is that's a market that loves the Sabres.
Yeah.
They love good hockey.
Yeah.
Dude, if you love something, let it go.
Let the Sabres go until Pagula does.
You got to do something.
Why doesn't
Why
he
would you
sell it?
watch them? And now we're talking about like JJ Peterka potentially leaving. Like the reason I'm like dogging a bone about that, they have this crazy crop of really good young players. And if you let this guy, like what
They're
happened-
all going to go.
What happened with the Leafs contract situation when they let Nylander win?
Oh no, when they signed Tavares, and then all the other guys were like, well, if he's getting that, we're getting this.
It wrecked everything.
Yes.
Right? It's a domino effect.
Yep.
If you let this RFA push you around, they're all going to push you around. Right? And you're going to have a terrible time with the next generation of Sabres, and then you're going to lose another one, even though you did a pretty good job drafting. You're screwed if you lose this. It's dark. It's dark, and they need to do anything.
Meddling owners is the worst thing you can have in pro sports.
Especially an owner that doesn't go.
Everything.
Like he's not at the games. Like Pagula goes to the Bills.
No, he goes to Montreal when they're in the middle of a 13-game losing streak.
Right, and says, you guys can do it.
Just cheer up, boys.
Team immediately doesn't do it.
Yeah. They so didn't do it that night either. It's crazy.
And
All
then he
right.
has his sidekick going out there talking about palm trees.
Yeah.
Like, disaster.
Poor Smithers.
Hey, listen. You're poor Smithers.
Should we just start calling him Smith?
I'm going to start calling Kevin Adams Smithers.
Oh, no.
No.
What is he other than Smithers?
People are like, listen, if you win, your city's desirable. They just can't. They can't.
Come on, Smithers.
That's me.
Come on, Smithers. We're pulling for you. Come on, Smitty.
Is Yarmo the monorail
It's the
guy?
title of the show, Smith.
Like maybe the title. It's Smithers or Pajama Empire. No, Smithers.
I honestly think you could do a video building the Pajama Empire Leafs.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun video.
That would be a great video.
All right, we'll save Pajama Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta trade Matthews,
And you got to do it before free agency.
Right.
because Matthews isn't a Pajama Empire.
Yeah.
But I get McDavid.
Probably in that move. You know.
Yeah.
Pajama Empire. Laughing all the way to the
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Some stuff that I will save for next episode. Remember, the next episode is going to be after Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Donate to our virtual 5K. Link is in the description.
There you go. Anything else you want to add to that?
Smithers,
Huh?
you're quite good at turning me on. Let's go Sabres. I hope it gets better.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.